One. Hello, folks. Here we are, another Saturday Night Live, February 1st, 2020. And another month has flown by. Awesome. It's just incredible the way, like a month seems like a week.
And that's usually the longest month of the year, too.
Yeah. Cold.
God,
We,
not
we, have,
here.
we haven't been getting very cold weather, a few cold
Not at
days
all.
here and there.
Not at all.
It's very, very interesting how it's going, but hey, we take what nature gives us or whoever's giving it to us.
Yeah. No natural weather anywhere anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, Curtis, how you doing? Can you hear us? Yeah,
Don't think so.
Curtis, hello. No. Let's see here. Yes, everybody's getting sound problems. Can you hear us, Curtis? No. Anyway, who else is here? Anka,
iPhone.
iPhone. Hello, iPhone. So, 30 plus years, what it's taught me is every day you wake up, if you don't put a conscious effort to your health, you're going to do something that's going to be going backwards on your health. That's what it's taught me. It's every single day we got to get up and we got to be focused on health. The body's designed to keep you alive, to keep you healthy. It's your responsibility. And until we come to that realization, I keep seeing what I've seen for 30 plus years. Most people will never, ever put the time and effort for their health.
Nope.
And they can tell you all the wonderful things that you want to hear, but what they do is completely opposite, and that's okay. Everybody has their free will to do as they please. But if you want to be someone who is in a wonderful state, vibrant, healthy, full of energy, you have to put some effort to it every single day. Spending 1 to 2 hours a day on yourself is not a lot of time. And, once you get into this lifestyle, you will find, especially when you start eating less and less and doing more and more master fast, and you'll see you're going to have more time. So you can put that extra time for yourself because nobody else is going to do it for us. I've been bashed and criticized and et cetera for 30 plus years since I started this, and a lot of people that were doing that, they're not around anymore. So I know myself without doubt I wouldn't be here without a fasting lifestyle. I can blame it on whatever genes, this, that, and the other thing, but at the end of the day, once we are able to rationalize and think for ourselves, it's a duty for us to do that research. We can't blame that we weren't taught this, that, and the other thing, especially nowadays with the internet. Everything's available out there. If you want to do your homework, it's there at the fingertips. In the olden days, we had to do it the hard way. Go try and find a book. Good luck if you can find the book and sources to get it and so on and so forth. It was a little more difficult, but we got her done. We got her done, and here we are now with a much easier way for everybody to communicate with each other around the globe instantaneously, share information, share experiences, share knowledge, and Massive Fast was born. And it's awesome to be able to uh, have all you wonderful souls in the group and sharing your experience, because it really helps a lot of people. There's a lot of people on the fence. Um, they're just so confused with all the information out there. They don't know what to do. I was in that position for many years, and then I would try one thing for a while and go for it. But when I tried things, I really stuck my head into it. I got in trouble a few times, almost killed myself because I trusted in the information. But we've made it. MassFast has made it very simple. Um, you really have to open up and trust your soul, not me. I have nothing to do with it. Whenever I trusted other people, I got in trouble. So the roadmap here is one where we dive within into the abyss of soul, I like to call it, and really come to a place that you're looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, yeah, the power that created this physicality can also heal this physicality and everything else. It's just common sense. And if that doesn't make sense, I don't know what does. Because it's not that difficult to come to that understanding. We can be convinced through the gift of the gab, or through lawyers and all that of something else that's not truth. But in the end of the day, the truth is always staring you right in the face when you're looking in the mirror. And this physical body, it's based on the principles of the universe, the workings of the universe. It's based on those same principles. And if you just pay a little bit of attention on that and really be humble and just be ignorant, stupid, just look at how the universe works and look at things in nature, because nature is based on the same principles as how the universe works as well. You're going to come to a whole different understanding of everything we've been taught, that you're lacking this, that, and the other thing. You need this, and that, because the universe doesn't work on lack. It works on abundance. And that abundance is within each and every one of us. We just have to come to the realization that it's there and we have available access to it anytime we want. Are we going to have to work at it? You better believe it. You better believe it. Just the same way we worked day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, to bring a severe imbalance into our lifestyle. We have to do the opposite and do all that work to correct and move back towards balance. But the beautiful thing is there's no thought process in doing that. It's just coming to the understanding of the few little things that we understand what to do to get in that position and allow our soul to work at autopilot. And once that realization starts to happen, look out. And a few of us, that have jumped in and done especially the long digestive vacations in Master Fast, you really see the power of what we're talking about and what everybody shared, and that's a beautiful thing. There's no limitations. It truly is limitless realms once you tap in. Can everybody jump in and just go all out? No, and that doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter how much time. Just once you make that commitment and you're really true to yourself, it doesn't matter how long it takes, because there's no destination, as we keep saying. It's a lifelong journey to come to a point and realization of how do I want to pass on to the other side, because it's going to eventually come. So do I want to pass on in pain, misery, and suffering, or do I want to be in a joyful, blissful state when I pass on to the other side? And those are two of the main options. The third one is somebody takes you out, or an accident or something. But we don't want to go there. But when you are in a certain field strength, I like to call it, certain things will not be attracted to you unless the soul wants to experience that. And that's, hi, Judith, Angelica, and Susan. Hello, hello, hello. So yeah, it takes an effort. Every single day, we have to put effort. We have to, if we choose to be in a healthy state. If we don't choose that, we don't have to do anything, right? We just keep doing what we've always done. I'm watching one of those fence convention. Are you watching Tom Langley, Physical Mortality? What do you think of it? I believe everything's possible, Aranka, but I don't with the information we have right now and what's available at this point, no matter what we're doing, we're all aging. The only thing that we are doing right now is able to slow it down quite a bit and reverse it up to a point. I think as we move along and get into more of the plasma technology, which is technology of the soul, we call it technology, but it's just the understanding of creation. That's really what it is. We call it technology so we have an understanding. Once we open up more and more to that, sorry, I have to move my chair over here. Move over to that. We're gonna see more and more profound things. I believe we'll start seeing more and more instantaneous healing happening. It's already out there. It's just we'll see it at a grander scale. Immortality may be something that will become possible because, like I said, I don't believe nothing is impossible. So we just don't have an understanding exactly to get to that point at this time. I don't think so. But we do have the information and understanding to slow down and reverse our aging up to a point. Some people you'll see happen more than others. Some people just blow you away, like, holy Jesus, that's the same person after a few months, you know, it's just like, wow. So don't ever, I don't like to ever say nothing, you know, it's not possible because we don't have that understanding. There's so many things that science has told us is not freaking possible, you know, like regenerating nerves, bones, straightening out this, that, and people have shown us through master fasting that it is possible. So that's bullcrap to us, you know.
Well, the true science is not necessarily mainstream science, you know. There is, yeah, just because it's mainstream science, it doesn't mean it is the true science.
We love Tom. I don't know if you seen the interview we did when he was here. Awesome. I love Tom. He's really pushed the boundaries, pushed or expanded through his determination and his understanding. And we have a lot of similar understandings of what we're doing. We're using a little bit different words and stuff. But very, very,
Overall.
you know, overall, it's basically the same thing we're talking about. And, you know, we do have both have the understanding that physical food is not something that's required by us. It only is required when the belief system doesn't allow it, and or we put the physical body in such an obstructed state that it cannot sustain itself because, I like the term, it'll drown in its own filth, trying to clean itself out. And then that's where master fasting shines. Like there's nothing else I've seen and how efficient, effective, and safe it is to be able to purge a body at this level. There's nothing out there that I've come across in 30 plus years, even close to what we're doing here and what we've seen other people going through master fasting. And that's a big, huge understanding. And you can see how emotions come to play in almost every single person that you goes through the experience, they're going to have some kind of emotional thing sooner or later.
And
Steve's
then-
a little bit later, but it's coming through.
and the great thing about the master fast is that you have the seven levels and you get to choose your own pace. You know, you don't have to push or you can choose your pace, whether you want to go fast, you want to go slow, depending on so many different things, you know, you choose. You can combine different levels and purge more or purge less.
Yeah, you know,
It's an art, really. It's an art, and you would have to it's your life, and you have to choose how you want to manage it. You know.
the art of subtraction, you know, that's what I like to call it. We, as a human race, we've been told a lot of things that are just not true. If you just look at the past 100 years in our science, mainstream science, on how many things have changed, you know, over these years. Oh, this is not possible. Oh, this is, and then this is not good for you. Oh, this is good for you. And then it's not good for you again. And then it's good for you. It's just like, do you want to believe anything they say anymore?
You know, yeah.
You know, from a few things, studies and stuff, and a lot of people I've spoken to in science, they cannot anything that passes through mainstream as fact, they cannot replicate it twice.
Many times, yeah.
So
I mean,
what does that tell you?
Sometimes I mean, it depends, right? Like sometimes, of course, a study is you can replicate. Sometimes when they replicate it, even after it's published, they find that nobody can replicate it after
Because
with
they don't have
with
the
exact same
intent
protocol.
and emotion in the equation, and this is the fool's gold, matter state. It's the fool's gold. Focusing on matter state, dissecting and dissecting, you're never going to end. You can keep dissecting to infinity because it goes inwards as far as it goes outwards. So you're not going to find your answers in matter. Matter is the effect, what we see in a small window of the effect. And that's why we keep mentioning we focus on the fields, not matter. And it's kind of a twist for our brain because we're not taught that. So we have to be conscious of it every single day, every moment, every time you're discussing something with somebody. I have to consciously say, no, I can't look at matter. I have to focus on what's happening on the fields that's creating the matter, because you're going to just fall into the trap of confusion by looking at matter is what I found. And that's how I got in trouble every single time. Focusing on the sciences, focusing on the matter things. And
Yeah.
the universes are open to you when you start looking in fields. You know, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The plasma. Nothing in physicality came first. It's the plasma.
The creation.
The intent and emotion. That has intent. As there's intent and emotion, there's a soul, a plasma formed, and that's what creates the material
Both the
things.
chicken and the egg.
Yeah, well, whatever. It could have been the egg, could have been the chicken. We don't know.
Could be both. Huh?
It could be both. It could be a chicken with an egg in it, already ready to go, or many chickens. You know, I've shared the story about one of the fellows in our class, the Spaceship Institute in Australia. He went on a camping trip or something. I don't know if the story is 100% exact, but they had a really bad rainstorm, thunder, lightning, I think hail, he said, and a lot of water came down. And they were not near any bodies of water. And once it all calmed down, there was puddles everywhere full of fish. Full of fish. Where did those fish come from? They were created. Because once you have the environment conducive to a certain, to create something, it just gets created. It's instantaneous. And that happened over here years ago when I moved in this home. I think it was in the second year. This was all farmland here. And over 20 years ago now. And yeah, 20 years. And across the street here, it was an all open field still. Now it's all stores. But I think it was in the second year, one summer day, we had a severe thunderstorm. And the next day, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of frogs. Thousands, like you would see an odd frog here and there, but this was thousands. They were all getting run over by cars. It was just all over the place. I've never seen anything like it. So, there's, are they burrowed in the ground or something? At that amount, coming out, I don't know. It's creation is interesting when you look at it through the fields.
Yeah, it's beyond physicality for sure. I mean, you can't think what happened exactly. It's some things, sure, that some people will study them in details more than just
Well, they're
seeing them.
studying it through matter, and they're not going to get the right answers. Just like the fish and the frogs and everything else. And there's other stories of. I remember reading an article in Borneo. They were finding new species of animals like every week or something that was never discovered before. Those animals were not
It's amazing.
here.
Creation
They were because creation keeps creating all new species and so on and so forth.
I mean, come on. I mean,
If we look at fossils and all the animals that are extinct and
I
so on
mean,
and so
we
forth.
don't need even to see all this. Creation is amazing without even going anywhere. You
And-
just look at yourself, and we are miracles, really. It's like
And then there's every once in a while an article pops up of, oh, they found this animal that thought it was completely extinct again. Fang the deer. There's a few other animals that I've seen in the past year or so. And I think that was in Vietnam or something. But yeah, it's just creation's awesome. If the conditions are right, things will be created. And the problem with all these extinctions and all that and so forth is man. Man is always most of the problem. Nature once in a while comes in and wipes things out.
man is also created.
Through volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, or whatever. But
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
interesting.
man is also a miracle. Like we're all miracles, really. I mean, we're absolutely, like, honestly, we are amazing creatures. Sure, there's so much happening and emotions and stuff, but it's divine creation, and we are gifted as humans. Actually, like, we're blessed, I would say, even more than the other animals. With the choices we can make. And so let's just make good choices. Let's choose peace, balance, and correct conduct, and serve our purpose.
Yeah, like the capability of being able to grow limbs back and so on and so forth. If we're around the next several years, I believe we're going to start seeing some of that stuff. It's going to be interesting. If we don't wipe ourselves out with war and whatever, we're moving into a beautiful space and much knowledge to be appreciated, because that's the intent and emotion of a lot of us out there, and is why we can see such profound healing happening with people. So don't let anybody steal your dream, as they say.
Honestly, I say peace starts within. When you have peace within, your world will be peaceful. Regardless of what you see, it will just be peaceful. Yeah, some will might think it's naive, but it really, peace starts within ourselves, changing. I mean, how difficult is it to change? It's actually the most difficult thing, right? It's really the most difficult thing, I believe, for humans, is to change to the better, and individually, forget about outside. So that's in my opinion, that's real peace. Forget about it. Even if I'm in jail, I can be in peace. Even if I'm imprisoned, I can still be in peace. I can choose to be in peace. No, Some people get into deep meditations when they're present, and you know, they we have a lot of power regardless of the environment. Really, we create the environment.
Yeah, as they say, pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice.
Yeah.
Pain. We learn and
actually
grow
all.
and
Yeah.
expand through pain.
Pain is a blessing.
And emotion, that's the biggie. And that's where all of us have challenges in, and you know, we're
I
working
feel, yeah.
and doing our best to overcome these things.
So
Yeah. You know, everybody says they have the answer, and there's not going to be the same answer for anybody. Everybody's going to find their own answers within. The key is to always be present and focus on the solutions. The challenges they're always going to be there.
Yeah, it's just part of nature. I believe from my experience so far, 40 years, is that life is not fun without sacrifice. I mean, it would be like, you know, yeah, like fasting is a sacrifice, for example, right? We, you know, let go of something that sometimes we desire, and there is power behind it that we feel. So, working hard and achieving things, living your dreams and doing what it takes to live your dreams. Yeah, that's, I mean, I always loved it since I was a kid. I loved sacrificing. It's very rewarding, especially when it's in the right, in the direction of peace, balance, and correct conduct, you know. Yeah. Pain is the touchstone of all spiritual growth. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. And it's a gauge, you know, on how bad it can be, and then how wonderful it can be. It's you know, it's awesome.
Aranka, you're saying it's a little bit hard to commit. Yeah, change is the biggest challenge, right? It is the biggest challenge.
Most people are we're not taught this stuff. We're not taught that we have to put effort into our health. We're taught that you don't feel good, go to your doctor.
You know, Aranka, also you want to be gentle on yourself. I have done so many times like fasting and breaking so many times incorrectly after a few days, and getting back into the addiction cycle, right? Like once you eat, you want to eat. I don't know how many times I've done that, but commitment, yeah, you want to be easy on yourself. You just want to allow yourself to struggle a little bit in the beginning, because getting out of that cycle is not easy, but once you're out of it, it's really easy. It's much easier, at least. It's not always easy, but once we're trapped, it's always hard. So honestly, just find yourself a program and commit to it for at least 3 weeks, just to build a little bit of habit and, you know, comfortable space for yourself. Within these 3 weeks, if you feel horrible, it's okay. It's the first 3 weeks.
Can I just
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, the reason it is hard to commit is because I'm getting all these other influences from people that sugar is bad, and I'm still, as Gino says, I'm in the material world, right?
Yeah.
I was going nicely for 11 days with a couple of hiccups, but then boom, somebody says, oh, sugar is very bad, and I'm back into my water and hit all my 30 liters of bottles of grape juice under. Okay, I don't want to see them now. Um, so how can I be so weak mentally? Um,
I,
You're,
it's a mystery. It's
you're
no,
not.
giving you're giving the information you're hearing power as truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's your choice.
it's yeah, you're not informed enough, in my opinion. You want to want okay, the belief system. Okay, your belief system is not that strong. Now build it, right? You want to build it.
How?
How?
I
By
meditate. Yeah.
starting not 11 days. Why would you do 11 days? We mentioned many times, please avoid long fasts. Most people are not ready for them. Choose, let's say level 2. Like Curtis with us, right? He's doing level 2. He studied. I can tell from his post that he really knows what he's talking about. He said he watched the videos for 6 months before he started. And even when he started, he's like, that's another like completely different story when you start. And that's only 2 days a week. And he's eating clean. You know, I'm sure he's doing his best. We all are doing our best to eat clean within 3 hours, more or less, in the other days. So even the other days, he's working on it as well, the lifestyle.
Okay.
So first of all, you want to do your homework, watching, if you can, uh, videos as much as you can. If you can't, it's okay, but be with us here because we talk about this all the time. And read the protocol. Do you have the protocol? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can just go over it again, go over the you know, the information are quite clear. Yeah, maybe just read it again, maybe. Yeah, give it another read, you know, because it takes time to register. I mean, if you're thinking about sugar, there is frequently asked questions, for example, about the sugar. Go over the FAQs, you know, just to strengthen your information. Yeah, like to refresh your information. And your post on Facebook. Be committed. You know, regularly post. If you're struggling, even post more every day, just a little bit, just to let us know how you're doing.
I'm a little bit ashamed to post.
Oh no, don't, please,
Having so many doubts, and then
sweetheart. We all do.
Have you watched interviews of people?
every single one of your videos, every Zoom calls, every Q&A,
Have
every single one
you
of them.
seen transformations in people?
Yes, but so much struggle along the way as well. I mean, Ranjit is just like so inspiring.
You've seen trouble what after they start eating?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about the transformations, their health wise, of bones straightening out, nerves regenerating, this,
True.
that, pain going away, so et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. So if sugar, as people say, or poison, how can that be happening?
That's my question. Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
you want to experience a little bit. How do you do that? I would get
by doing it, yes.
So, you
Yeah.
know, like you look at, there's certain species of animals that live on mostly fruit, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So how do they do it?
Yeah.
You have to start asking yourself certain questions, and don't take people's words for face value or sciences or anything, because that's where you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Have you seen
Remember,
some of the other breatharians, do you know, in Rana?
I've been following for a long time.
Like Atlantis or Henri Montfort or Gabriel Escoy. They all shun sugar. They say it keeps you in the loop.
Yeah, you know, it's we don't have to agree with every human being. And
No, no.
let me tell you one thing. When comparing different people, no one teacher I met knows everything. Okay, no one teacher I met knows everything, and I feel it's a little bit naive of some students to ask, you know, like to ask one of the teachers about something they're not like it's not their area. They as if like they think they know everything, right? Sometimes
True.
students ask the teacher about something that has nothing to do really with the teacher. or what they're teaching. And I'm like, yeah, but like, don't expect them to know everything. Like, you have to do your homework too. They know in their area. That's their area. They know. Now, with the different breatharians, they went to it in different ways. If that's the way you like their way and it resonates with you, then you have to go that way.
Yeah, I tried.
So with the master fast, we have a very much more structured, in my opinion, protocol with certain things and 30 years behind. It's not like seriously, it's not like okay, I'm drinking less than I'm eating less than drinking less, and then I got into breatharianism. There is a lot of experience behind the protocol, and this makes it, you know, much easier for us to follow because of the information and the experience of Gino, but also in the past 4.5 years, almost now 5, people's experiences put together to make the protocol even, you know, because we have been updating the protocol regularly so that it fits pretty much everybody. I mean, the protocol really, I mean, it's like fruits and vegetables. Does it work for everybody? In my opinion, yes. Yeah, the food.
Yeah.
And same thing, the master fast, does it work for everyone? I'm like, I would say yes, absolutely, because the roadmap is pretty much, you know, it's the same path. Are you going to, is your journey going to be like mine? No, because my challenges are different from yours, because everybody comes from different generational, but also lifetime challenges.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with them individually. So now for the belief system to change, I've known that actually almost like 4 years ago now. 2 things we want to focus on. One is the physical body. You really want, like, we want to start transforming it and cleaning it up. When you clean your body, it becomes much easier to reduce the food and to fast and to do dry fast, okay? Like liquid and dry. And the other thing is your beliefs, to transform the physical body, but also the belief system. The belief system, that one is a little bit tricky because it takes time. You just have to give it time. Some people can change their belief system faster, but for the
20 years. I've been at it for 20 years.
You've been what? Sorry?
I've been at it for 20 years. Enema juicing Eret, right?
It's the
No, it is not master fast.
Yeah, so like master fast. Let's just talk master fast because there are so many different
Okay.
to cleansing. So give it time. Give it time. I mean, you're still struggling with believing that sugar is not going to harm you in the master fast. So that's a big one, you know, that's a huge one actually. How can you drink the grape juice and you're believing that sugar is not good for you? So these 2 things, and the belief system takes time for most people. It takes time. So you'll have to live it and just keep going until like you prove to yourself. We cannot prove it to you. We just give you the information, but you have to prove to yourself that this is true. The information is true.
The sugar thing is really funny because if you understand how the body works, we're carbon-based beings in matter state. The body's got to convert everything back to a form of sugar for it to use its energy. Whether it's fruit, whether it's green leaves, whether it's fat, it has to go back to carbon-based for us to function on it. With that understanding, the whole belief system that sugar is bad for you can't even stand on its own legs. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, for somebody who has that belief system, that's their belief system. And it ain't going to change, but they're still living on sugar. Carbon is even in the air. Our body's producing carbon, you know, exhaled. It's you can't get away from it. The 4 basic elements on this plane are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, Cohen. With those 4 elements, all life forms that have that in common, any life form can be created through those 4 elements plasmatically. So when you have that understanding, Well, how can you eliminate sugar out of your physicality? You can't. You can't. You can't do it. You can stay away from all the things that you believe are sugar, like the fruits and the fruit sugar and the ones that are probably the ones that you need to stay away from, all the man-made isolate sugars and stuff like that, because they're completely changed. Um, you know, what we're doing with the grape juice and all the other juices, you know, we're just putting them in a higher order. Yeah, there's sugar in there. Of course there's sugar in there. That's part of the structure of the fruit. It's nothing that, you know, we're adding. Even if there's even added sugar in some of the juices, when you're in a fasting state, you know, true fasting state is not eating or drinking anything, but when you're in a fasting state, master fasting state, what were the things we're using in master fasting? What I've seen in all these years, they keep the body in the fasting state as close as possible without taking it out of the fasting state. And we're using them to help purge. That's all we're using them for. We're not using them for any other value.
We don't care about the sugar, really.
We're using them to purge the physicality, the mental, and the emotional side of things. Because in the higher order, it works the opposite. It doesn't work through the physical, it works in the higher order down. And that's why it's so powerful. And the biggest challenge that people have to come to realization is dealing with emotions. When you put the body on such a powerful purging system, all kinds of caca is going to come up. All kinds. I'm talking about physical, mental, and especially emotional. The worst, you'll see the worst of the worst coming out of people when they're detoxing. I've seen this for 3 decades plus. And you'll think it's like Jekyll and Hyde, some people, on what starts coming out of them. And if you don't have the new understanding to have the realization that you need to deal with that, you're going to go in cuckoo circles. You're going to drive yourself mental. And we've seen that with some people. They're just going in circles because and then they're going from one person to another person to another person to, oh, this is no good for you. That's no good for you. That's no good for you. And they're just continuously spiraling outwards, more and more confusion. And that's what I've seen in 3+ decades. I don't really care what anybody else says. I know you can live on this program.
You know,
indefinitely. Master fasting,
full
master fasting, you can live on.
Another thing is for example, if you see the protocol where we mention food and eating, we do mention that we don't recommend drinking fruit juices. Yeah. So when you are eating, eat. Yeah. But when you're master fasting, you really want to. Purge.
Raw fruit juices. We don't recommend them. If you want to have occasional glass here and there, no big deal.
But we're not
fans. Doing it regularly.
We're fans of eating fruits when you're eating. Yeah.
It's you have to come to
it's
the understanding.
Different. It's not that we enjoy drinking sugar or fruits. No, it's for purging only.
It may not be for you, or you may not be ready. It doesn't really matter. It's just you have to come to the understanding of what we're doing here and the things we're using, and the understanding of it all. It's not really that difficult. It's very simple what we share here.
Yeah.
We're focusing exclusively in the physical to purge this GI tract, the plasma vacuum tube. Once that opens up, everything changes. We've seen it over and over and over again. Everything starts working better, and blah, blah, blah. You start purging the mental and emotions, and everything starts happening.
Yeah.
And then what happens? We go out in society, and we get convinced of something else.
Okay, yeah.
And we start having all our struggles and challenges again, and go back to eating, going cuckoo. And
another thing, is right now it's like they are either two for the most part, when people talk about health. Not detoxification, but health. They talk about either vegan or which more like high carb, I guess, low fat, low protein, and or keto, and more like paleo keto, right? Which is high fat, high protein, no sugar. They don't like sugars, and so you would get very confused. Okay, so you'll have to choose. you either go with like bacon and eggs and butter and cheese and all that and enjoy for the rest of your life, or you choose fruits and vegetables, which are high carb, low fat, low protein, but are the best foods that move through you. So you have to choose. There is keto vegan, which is Gino has done for 3 years.
I can only speak through my experience. It almost killed me, killed
And
my
he
friend.
almost died.
My friend died.
He had eventually, when you stopped
No
after
sugar.
3 years, you had an infection, right? Yeast infection from head to toe. And that's when he was like, okay, what the heck am I doing? I'm gonna go back to my old ways, which is Arnold diet, right? Fruits and vegetables.
Fasting, fruits and vegetables.
And fasting.
Fasting's always first.
Fasting, yes. So yeah, I totally agree with keto. If you are going to eat bacon and eggs and meats and whatever oils and nuts and seeds, even vegan keto, don't touch the fruits because your blood sugar is going to go out of whack.
Oh yeah.
Or if you come from a standard diet and you go to high fruit diet, yeah, you're going to have a lot of things happening and gas for like 3 months maybe, because things are fermenting. So what we recommend is have some fasting and clean eating. Fasting and clean eating. And when you eat, you want to intermittent fast. You're not binge eating and overeating, you know, like eat within 3 hours. So all these points are important, you know.
The biggest challenge that people have with fruit is they're mixing it.
Yeah, another thing is even
That's
the fruits you don't want to
biggest
mix.
challenge.
Even the fruits you want to eat properly.
Mixing it, especially mixing with fat. That's just it's
Yeah.
lethal.
Yeah.
And we see people doing that in the raw food world a lot. You know, it's
Or
tastes
yeah,
good.
or different fruits, or like fruits and vegetables sometimes, like a salad with mangoes. Yeah, for me, yeah, I did it maybe for a little bit at the beginning of
We're not here to convince anybody.
of raw vegan, but no, it's not the way to go for sure.
I can only speak my experiences,
Yeah.
but from what I've seen in 30 plus years in this alternative kind of lifestyle is what they call it. I see the type of keto and paleo type diets are going to bring more health costs to the masses than ever in the history of humanity, and it's already happening. And that's what I've seen and I've experienced. You can somebody, you know, there's people that would be able to handle fats more than others, and they'll be able to do it maybe for decades. And eventually it's going to catch up because it plugs up the lymphatic system so badly.
You know, yeah.
There's going to be people who are going to pay the price very
But
quickly,
you-
like myself, because I was already in a very sensitive state coming from fasting and raw food world when I went into that, and my body says, "What the frick are you doing?" And I kept ignoring signals for almost 3 years, and almost killed me. So,
But yeah, many.
Yeah, Brian Clement and Gabriel Cousins. Yeah, they're doing that kind of stuff. You know, you're gonna, if you whatever diet you come from, if you go into even a high fat raw vegan lifestyle, you're gonna start getting some results until you hit a wall. That's what happens because it's a little bit lighter than the animal products, so you're gonna de-obstruct up to that level until you hit the wall. We call it the plateau or whatever. And that's why, you know, the way we've laid it out in the spiral, you know, the level of obstructions of each different foods and emotions and so on and so forth. The more obstructive, the more outside of the spiral. The least obstructive, you go more inwards until you're doing nothing. You know, even they're not breathing. You know, as we like to share, like the Buteyko type breathing. The more you get into the nothingness, the more you're going to be able to access the limitless realms. And that's what we're talking about. The physicality of things, it's way they're secondary. It's just
something, you know, that you know, people who do paleo and keto these days, something positive they're doing is the intermittent fasting. I see many of them do that, so they eat maybe one meal or whatever. But
I think it's shocking the body more than anything. You know, as you see, it's become popular in the last few years, short years, especially after we started.
But yeah, I mean,
sharing MFS,
intermittent fast, but like with clean food, you know. Now, okay, another thing is that keto and paleo, yes, they might say healthy. I don't know how they can say anti-inflammatory. Okay, maybe it will help them
The
initially.
fat doesn't make you feel it.
where it would help them
It
maybe
masks
initially,
it.
also when they remove the junk food and all the crap that they're eating and mixing the carbs with the fat, because you don't want to do that. So they're at least they're like food combining, they're eliminating the carbs, which is better for them for sure. Because otherwise, yeah, I can't see how the sugar is going to help them. So in a way, it's yeah. So what I wanted to say is that is not detoxification. Okay, we come from detoxification. That's the first thing I studied.
We don't focus on
actually.
any diets.
When I studied raw food, I studied detoxification, right? And I didn't do it for the animals or anything. I did it for health and to learn about cleansing and detoxing and healing. And when somebody tells me keto, paleo, and this and that, because it's a big fad now and many people are talking about it, I say, okay, sure, you can do it. You know, I'm not into that. And I say, this is it is not a detoxification way of eating. It's not
Lifestyle.
It's not a detoxification lifestyle.
Just ask any colon therapist on how bowels function.
Yeah, I can. I tell them, you cannot tell me that it's a detoxification lifestyle. There's no way. You can talk all you want about it feeling good and all that, but you cannot tell me it's a detoxification way of eating. There's no way.
Their bowels don't function.
Yeah, we have studied detoxification, and that's not the way to detox your body. Simple. It's not on fat and protein. It's too heavy.
They plug up the colonic machines and stuff. The glue's coming out of them.
Oh yeah, the nuts and seeds. My goodness, how many times I had a lady on keto. She was working on Lyme disease, which is another thing that is like, okay, like all right. So she's doing keto, no sugar whatsoever. And every time, I don't know how many times she came, maybe 10 times, it would plug up the speculum. It would plug it out that with her poo, it pushes out the speculum with a big chunk of poo. And I tell her, look, that's the nuts. Yeah, I mean, I can see the nuts. I see the nuts when people eat nuts. And it's so sticky all over the speculum. And I tell her my opinion, but like, you know, you can only say once, twice, 3 times, and then after that they have to choose. I haven't seen her so much.
Everybody choose their path. Steve, you got your hand up.
Correct me if I'm wrong on the sugar, but fructose, I believe, is the only sugar that does not require the body to produce insulin to process.
Correct.
So that whole sugar thing is just bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's minimal impact on the body to process fructose.
When you do greens, like leafy greens, which have glucose, your body has to produce this insulin to process. It has to turn it back to the state that it can use. But we're focusing on the matter. We're going to get stuck in this stuff. And
well, but that's the belief system that people are trying to overcome, because that's what they've been told since birth.
Yeah, if you eat fruit on an empty stomach, you're gonna get some spiking of the blood sugar.
Very little.
Normal. It's tiny. A little bit. If you're in a really obstructive state, you're gonna see much more spiking until you clean out the obstructions. Once you clean out the obstructions, it settles off. Yeah, you're gonna get some spiking, but that's why in the protocol, as we're sipping the juice, we're not telling people to guzzle it. We're telling people to sip it all day long.
Yeah.
So it goes into the body slowly, because we're not having any fiber to slow down the absorptions and so on and so forth. And we're using it as a liquid Drano, right? That's that terminology too.
It's dead anyway. It does have no value in it.
Exactly.
Like I just
nobody gets that. Oh my God, nobody gets that.
And then we have the whole other thing about, it's not organic and this and that. We've seen the results exactly equal to people using organic versus non-organic. So where does that come from?
Yeah, I mean, if you want organic, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's nice. It's definitely better.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing's organic anymore.
I mean, yeah, fruits and vegetables.
They shouldn't.
If you can buy them.
They shouldn't be. Nobody should be allowed to grow food supply with chemicals. Well, it's obvious, but we're doing it and we're accepting it. It's part of our society.
I mean, we don't buy organic fruits and vegetables. We just buy and. Yeah, maybe the leafy greens we would buy them, but fruits, it's hard to find good quality fruits that are organic, like that tasty. So we buy the best that we can find. the best, tastiest fruits we can find. But well, not too concerned with organic. If you buy something that's not organic and it's not good, but the organic tastes better, then go for organic and go with the taste. You know, that's what we do. And then we ozonate everything when we buy it. So we wash properly, very important, and it tastes good. Tastes good. As long as it tastes good, you will be able to eat it. If it doesn't taste good,
You're not going to stick with any diet that, you know,
like
that doesn't, if you don't enjoy it.
at the health food store, I would love to do grocery shopping there, but there is no fruit. There's no fruit.
Yeah.
Fruit is not like, you know.
Yes. Even in Toronto, we have, you know, a lot of imports from all over the world. You can find almost everything, but to get a good organic selection, that ripe fruit, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
If you're on a tropical island, yeah, okay. But
Yeah.
this
yeah,
is
for
why we
sure.
see, you know, fruitarianism. Most people are not going to live on a fruitarian lifestyle, but you need to, when you're eating, I believe you need to have fruit as a staple, because
At least when we.
that's the thing that's going to help the bowels move. Everything else is going to slow you down. The more you go away from fruit when you're eating, the more you're going to slow down the bowels. So what are you going to eat that has no sugar in it that's going to move the bowels?
Nothing. Fruits are the best for bowel movements.
What are you going to eat?
Yeah.
Greens for my body. As soon as if I eat greens and I stay away from fruit, I put too much greens, my bowels slow way down. And that's me, been doing it for years.
Yeah, I just
So
broke.
I don't have to listen to somebody else that sugar is no good for you. It sounds, to me, it sounds ridiculous to me.
I
Honestly.
just broke my fast with 9 clementines. I ate them within an hour. 9 clementines. I mean,
Wow.
the past 3, I didn't have to eat them, but Gina didn't want to eat them, so I ate them. I don't know what to do with them, you know. But yeah, 6 would be good enough for me. I didn't force; it was okay, you know, and I don't feel like I overate. I just finished like half an hour ago,
You know,
so
we
I
can,
had 3 mangoes on Thursday. I mean,
nice.
it's amazing. And you didn't
it's a
feel
break.
you didn't feel the spike in blood sugar, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
But you eat it after
The-
a heavy
the-
meal, and you will feel horrible.
Oh man, you
Yeah.
mix it after anything else.
You know.
My wife was following this diet and no fruit. Um, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's just insane. It's no diet that has
Yeah.
no diet's any good anyway, but to say no fruit,
The best food you
crazy. But for the same reasons, because they're saying because of the sugar. It's like
I've heard it
stupid.
a zillion
Exactly.
times in
Forget
30 years.
They don't.
But even if physiologically, sugar feeds the muscles,
Yeah.
not protein. Protein is just poison for the body to begin with. We know that. But I mean, if you're looking at it from the physicality, it's just it's all bullshit. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all lies for the profit. Period.
Yeah. Let's just look at the bowel movements. Each food type and bowel movements. I think
Oh, night and day.
that's more than enough evidence. Which food is best for you?
Night and day.
Move through you, it is for you. If it doesn't move through you, then it's not the best for you. And not to mention, fruits are the least karmic, right? Like
Yep.
you don't have to kill the tree, and if anything, you're spreading the seed, so you're helping, you're giving,
Yes, there you go.
and you know, yeah.
It's to be strictly fruitarian, very few people will do that. We're not asking people to do that,
Yeah.
but we're saying keep fruit as a staple.
At least
That's it.
one, at
And
least
enjoy,
one meal.
enjoy the other foods if you want, no big deal. But the most important thing is the fasting.
Yeah.
That's the most important. If you're regularly fasting, you're keeping fruit as a staple when you choose to eat. Have some salads, some veggies, whatever. You're gonna be on the right track, and that's what I found in all this, 30 years of doing this. There's every time I slow down with fruit, bowels slow down. I did it over and over and over and over again over the years. Nothing changes. It's always the same answers.
Another thing, Aranka, I would say is we don't want to be confused. There are so many different teachers and different opinions.
Follow somebody you resonate with.
Yeah, so you will have to decide on your own.
'Cause-
Sit down and decide which one that makes most sense to me without anyone having to convince me even more, because you got the idea of what each one is doing. And go with the one that resonates. And once you go with that, just you know, full focus on whatever you choose. And yeah, I could
I resonate with you guys. I think you guys are amazing. I
yeah.
love both of you, and I love the group. I love the support. But then there's these other amazing teachers like that they don't go through the detox and they just do the 21-day process and there, just water,
How many do you
walking
know that have
around with
gone through
water.
How many do you know that have gone through that process that are still?
4,
Like breatharians,
yeah,
they're still
that
breatharians.
I talk to them. Yeah,
They are breatharians.
well, just water, right?
They
Spring
just
water.
drink water.
They just drink water, occasional water.
They don't eat anymore.
No,
Okay.
Atlantis, Henri,
Yeah, but
and Gabrielle.
Atlantis came from so many years. First of all, she did raw food and fasting and dry fasting. And
Me too, 20 years.
did you do lots of dry fasting?
Yes, yes, I did lots. I was following Tonya Zavasta, perhaps you know her, right? The Russian girl.
Mhm.
Yeah, Olga.
And nothing after 2 p.m. And I followed her and I really felt really good. But she eats fruit. Atlantis, though, Atlantis went Brian Clements' way, and she's just doing it on cucumber juice. I tried, and I just start getting very weak and lethargic. I don't feel so good. Then I go back to master fast. Okay, then the grape juice. So I just keep swinging, like Gina was saying, like swinging. Although you probably meant it in a different way. You meant it in a more harmonious way. I'm swinging out of emotions in back and forth, back and forth.
If you don't purge those obstructions, you're not going to feel well.
I have every day 20, 24 liters of enema, deep high enema. It goes all the way to the ileocecal valve. I can feel it. So I'm washing every day.
How much
Since,
fasting are you doing?
pardon me,
How much fasting are you doing every week?
fasting? I only eat the 3-hour window every day. So
Every week? Yeah. So if you
every
eat
day,
every day,
yeah.
you're not going to get much happening with enemas and colonics. It's only going to go so far.
And every year I do 21-day water fast. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's
Very different, I know.
you're
But I really love you guys. And when you said, who are you resonating with? I want to do this master fast, but I keep getting these.
Well, what you can do is this. I was thinking you're new to the lifestyle, but if you are, you know, more comfortable with fasting and eating within 3-hour window, I would say do level 5, 6.
Yeah, 5, 6, meaning I
Meaning
can do.
5 to 6 days a week of master fast and 1 to 2 days a week of eating.
I was thinking about that, yes. And I have my favorite fruits that I like to turn to. And yeah.
Vegetables too, you know, slowly before you can remove them later, but you know, you don't
Yeah,
have,
spinach and cauliflower. Those are my two.
yeah, cauliflower, make sure it's cooked.
Amazing. Oh, yeah, always cooked. I don't do raw, that stuff now.
Yeah, it's
Even spinach, just cooked spinach. I'm following Ered. Fruit raw, vegetable cooked.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for you, I would go level 5, 6. Just go deep, and that's deep.
Okay.
You're doing the dry fast.
Starting today.
Yeah, you're still doing the dry fasting. You're doing the daily.
I do. I love the dry fasting. It's effortless. I did 7 days and I was pushing a baby carriage every day. I had absolutely no. I said, wow, I haven't eaten drink for 5 days. What's going on? It's just effortless.
Amazing.
There's no tiredness, nothing.
Well, you're doing amazing.
And
What do you mean you're not committing? You're pretty good. I mean, if you're doing 3 days.
no, but I'm swinging. Somebody will tell me that the sugar is going to damage my liver. Oh gosh, I can't drink grape juice anymore. Then what am I going to do? And I still can't stay more than 7 or 8 days is the longest dry. After that, I'll start craving.
You have
Oh
to
me, poor me. I have to eat this.
keep
Yeah,
strengthening
it's
your
strange.
belief. Takes time. I mean, 7,
Yeah.
8 days a week. I mean, sorry, 7 to 8 days of dry. This is like deep stuff. So you have done
Yeah, I can.
something.
Yeah, quite a few times. Yeah.
So keep going. You're doing amazing.
I want to do master fast.
Yeah, do the master fast and keep
I
the.
have the star 4. I know the minimum star 4, and I like the pudding as well,
Yeah.
and the kidney tea. Yeah, those are good tools.
More tinctures for level 5, 6. I would do 12.
12. Yeah, I'm saving up for the 9, and never mind 12. As a nanny, you don't make much, but I'll get there again. It's a mentality. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be at your doorstep, not to worry.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, but yeah, do the herbal support because just to keep you going and support you.
Yeah. Again, I just wanted to say thank you very much. You guys are doing a great job. Truly great job, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're doing amazing too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's endless protocols out there that people are doing and making claims and so on and so forth. I've not seen what we've experienced with master fasting anywhere out there. I've not seen it. A lot of people claiming all kinds of things, and then they get caught eating or this and that. It doesn't matter, but to put somebody through put the body through trying to get its energy from a different source than food without cleaning it efficiently. Oh man, that's I don't know really anybody. Elatom, he understood you had to clean the mucus out.
I mean, it took him how long? How many years?
He's not drinking, right?
He's been like for
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
That's a long time. He also went the vegan, raw vegan, like fruitarian, whatever, on and off things, different fasting.
I don't know how somebody can do it on water without cleaning out. Everything's possible. It's going to be very challenging and difficult for most people to do that.
Sorry, I missed it. Who was it, please? Who are you talking about?
To be able to go with just going on water and not cleaning the system out, that's very difficult. Very difficult.
But so many people are doing it.
Where are they?
In France, Italy, Germany, Austria.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie Lumière or Am Anfang war das Licht, or in English, and there was light?
We have watched some people, different. I don't remember the names of all of them.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the Bigu people that are doing great in Germany and in China. No detox. They just steady weaning off, basically. Or maybe that's a detox, right?
Sure. You're gonna detox when you stop eating physical foods. You're gonna detox.
But is it efficient? I mean, I would go with a protocol that is already designed and like.
Yeah, I like the design of your protocol. It's safe. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the key.
Makes it easier too.
There's a few people that have died trying to go breatharianism. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they drowned in their own filth. The body couldn't handle it, no matter how much they believed.
It's good,
Yeah, Robert Lockhart just died. Dry fasting in the high heat in Australia or Philippines.
Yeah.
It's not dry.
I've known about him for a few years. I've been following.
Me too. Yeah.
And he wasn't into long fasts. He ate every day. He had the dry fasting windows. He was in our group for a while. How did he die? Did the dry fasting kill him?
No. An infection killed him, and the dry fast didn't help him.
He went to the hospital to get treated.
Yeah.
But he was collapsing at home, so that's why they took him to the hospital.
Why is he collapsing?
Because he was dying of his own filth, because he went on to this bicycle race in a dust. He inhaled too much dust, and the infection was just taking over his body.
So it's obstructions at the end of the day.
Yes. Yeah.
And you get treated.
And it's not, I don't think it's only the dust. I believe it's the body is obstructed from before, because if it's just dust, it goes through you easily. Like, we don't die from dust.
All he ate was fruit, tropical fruit.
That's not enough.
Gosh. Makes you wonder.
They're going to pass away too, right? We're all going to pass away.
Yeah.
Diets will bring you to death.
Yeah, again, so
And
it goes.
breatharians die too, right? You know, you had Daryl that passed away. I know Daryl. I knew Daryl, and he asked me for help at the end.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
Help somebody who doesn't eat, Daryl. His kidneys failed, and he went to the hospital, get treated, and that's it. Finished him off.
Yeah, once you go to the
But,
hospital,
you know,
that's it.
he would have an occasional cookie or an espresso, stuff like that, or popcorn. That stuff is obstructive. There's, you know, cause and effect, right? There's cause and effect in everything. People are going to claim that they're going to be able to turn to light. Okay, let me see you turn this to light. You know, let me see you turn it to light. Yeah, the body's going to have to be forced to process whatever you put into it, for sure. And over time, you know, we're gonna all pay the price of the things we ingest. Doesn't matter what it is. So we focus on what are things that we can use in matter to help purge. That's all we focus on.
And another thing, you know,
Nothing else.
and another thing is, you know, between the fasts, we are very, um, like we stress that it's very important to watch what you're eating. That's very, very important. We don't recommend breaking your fast with popcorn, you know, or cake or something like that, or anything, or coffee. You know, it's too much on the body. Now, I feel with many people in breatharianism, for them they say it's okay, I can eat whatever I want. Now that's never been my experience in the past 4.5 years. And not to put all the breatharianism down, we love, you know, we're all the same, you know, we at the end of the day it's all about you know, opening up and freeing the body and the spirit, you know. So we all you know, love each other and we learn from each other. There's no question about it. But from our experience, you really would want to watch what you're eating. The heavier the food, the harder it is to to deal with the obstructions from that food, you know. So yeah, so keep it clean, eat things. We love the fruits because they flow through you. If they don't, we tell you don't eat them. It's not like, well, we love the fruits for no reason. It's just because they flow through us better than anything else. Yeah.
You got to find what resonates with you. Number one, if there's resistance, you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it. It's you know,
Then how do you work on it? Like certain aspect is very desirable. How do you make it work then if you don't work on it, right? You say if it doesn't resonate with you, then just leave it.
well, yeah, if you don't have the understanding that, wow, this all makes sense to me, I'm going to stick with this. I understand it. I see what's happening with all the different people. We don't focus on the people who fell off and you never hear from them again. What for? They did maybe 108 days, had a wonderful transformation, then they disappeared. I'm not interested in those people. I'm interested in people that are living it and loving it and continuously contributing to their health. Like we were talking earlier, if you don't make that commitment every single day, putting time for yourself, nothing's going to really change in your health. It's not going to happen. I've seen so many people pass away because they just would not change. They would not change. So we can't help anybody make those changes. The changes have to come from within.
Yeah.
That you have the understanding that, okay, this is a lifelong journey without a destination. I'm going to commit so much time every single day on this path, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to love doing it, every bit thing about it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to continue.
And today, yeah.
And yeah, there's going to be challenges. Of course, there's going to be challenges. If anybody tells you there's no challenges,
Another thing is that there are tons of information out there, which is good, but at the same time, you really want to be focused and choose what resonates and stick with it and focus, because we have lots of distractions, this opinion, that opinion with the information, which is amazing. The information are a blessing because we have access to information that our grandparents didn't have access to, our parents didn't have access to. So it's a blessing. Enjoy the information that resonate with you, focus and get what you want from it. and yeah, enjoy it. There are so many opinions. As I said, some people will tell you, even if you, everybody has a different opinion. We don't learn this in school. This is human experience, is what we share. You go to different doctors, in my opinion, they will tell you different diets. Different naturopaths will tell you different diets. Different dietitians will tell you different diets. Why? Because it's all based on their experiences. It's not based on school. Culinary hydrotherapist, we have different opinion. Everybody has a different opinion about which food is best for you. If one of them says something that resonates, then go with it.
I know a lot of people have went through these 8, 10, 21-day processes, lots of them. And it's like there's some magic that you're going to gain from going to one of these. And you're going to be able to be food free. I've seen very, 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 very few succeed in these. Very few. It's easy to talk. Very easy to talk.
And
I spent a day with Elatom, and he's been around a lot of them. What I can say is, even he said, when he chose to eat in the past, of course you're going to feel it, and you got to do everything possible to get it out of you. And nobody shares that. They say, oh, you can eat anything and everything. Your body can handle it because it's living on prana. That's a bunch of bullcrap to me.
Yeah.
I don't care. I got some swampland for sale on the moon at a good price, So people can say anything they want, anything they choose. I only speak from my experiences, and if there's somebody that says they can turn stuff into light, like I said, they can eat anything and everything, I'd have to sit next to them for a few days and watch because I know what happens in this body. She knows what happens in her body.
Yeah,
and many, 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 many people.
I'll tell you what happens with my body.
Thing.
I definitely look forward to the day after to wash my clothes.
Look at all the people on Masterfast. So, when you're on MFS, when you're on a full MFS, you're mimicking living on prana. That's what's happening. And look at what happens to them when they go back to food. Some of them go cuckoo. Why? Why isn't their body be able to handle it? They were living on prana for 108 days, some of them. So, you can do that in 8 days or 11 days. Okay, do it. If you can do that, wonderful. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be very challenging for 99.999% of people to go that way.
Another thing is water. I just don't see myself doing water. I just don't see myself doing water.
I was a big advocate of water.
I think I would puke if I drink water. Seriously. The only time I would drink water is when I eat heavy food. I buy meat from outside, vegan, whatever, but it has maybe salt and oil and I don't know, stuff that make me thirsty, fats, grains maybe, I don't know. And I would be very thirsty that I would be like, I'm gonna die, I better drink, But no other, really, I would not drink water when I feel good, no way. I would eat my fruits, I would drink my juice, do the master fast. Yeah.
It's all wonderful. Everybody's got to find their paths. We love master fasting, and
green juices maybe, yeah, but that's the I don't know.
Green juices, yeah, that's
like if I would fast on any other on any other liquid, I would do green juice.
They don't have any purging power. They're very soothing and
they're nice, but
healing
flavor, nothing
much. They're nice to slow down. I got some herbs stuck in my throat from the tea. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Elaine, hello. Sarah's here. And 501. Sarah, can you believe you grew 2 inches? People won't believe it if we tell them. You know,
I know.
it's,
Yeah, I still don't even believe it.
how does that happen? It's the understanding is all but from what really happens. It's what we call building field strength, and all your physicality, cells and physicality finding their positioning, the correct positioning, and the body opens up. That's all it is. Very simple. And
Yeah.
you're not going to see that happening when the body's full of caca. It's not going to happen. I don't care how many herbs you take. It's not going to happen. You know, we love our herbs, but they can only do so much to assist us. And when you stop eating, then they really help you out. And you see the magic unfold, as we've seen over and over and over with so many people. So keep it safe and effective. We know what works. You want to become a breatharian, if that's really, truly your desire, you will do it.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take? It doesn't matter.
Just keep going.
Just keep going, and it will happen if that's your true desire.
Yeah, it will come.
You know.
You know, it's funny that I can tell people about the things that are better. You know, like, oh, my eczema's gone, or my acne cleared up, or I can't even think what else. You know, like that I don't take
remember
any like pharmaceuticals anymore. Like my depression's gone, my ADHD, all these things. The thing that, and people always like, yeah, whatever. But the thing that always like makes them second guess is when I say, yeah, and I grew 2 inches, and they, wait, what?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? I'm like, yeah, you tell me.
Yeah. It's you're not the only one. A lot of people grew in height. There's only 2 of you that
Yeah.
grew 2 inches.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, me and Lena.
It may be more. They haven't shared or they haven't measured.
Oh,
I
you
don't
haven't
know,
measured.
but yeah, everybody's going to expand doing this.
part
It's
of
just part of it. It's just the understanding.
it. Amazing.
It's just awesome, to do that like that. 2 inches is a lot, People are going to notice that.
You're asking, do you
Yeah.
guys drink anything on eating days? So
Mhm.
I do everything pretty much like Master Fast. And then after the juice, I eat my first fruit meal. I break with fruits, mono fruits usually, and then I would wait 30 minutes to 1 hour, and then I would eat the vegetables, maybe more.
Like to have, some tea on most of the eating days. The tea is always nice.
Yeah. And then the juice.
Juice. The tinctures on the eating days, occasionally. Don't do them too much on the eating days.
I do them, but
Occasionally I do them.
they're nice.
Yeah, just the juice. It's always best on an empty stomach. It's
I don't touch it.
best you wait till the next day.
Yeah, but I have my tea at the end of the eating day. This way I feel like I'm back on the fast, from the evening, just to get back into the routine.
But you guys don't have any other fruit juice. You were saying that earlier.
Gino,
You mean different fresh squeezed?
Well, I don't know. Earlier you said you weren't drinking other fruit juice, so I got confused. But maybe you just meant like in general?
I
don't know.
I was talking about staying away from fresh squeezed juices. Like if you want to have one occasionally, okay, but we may mostly do the grape. I buy pineapple once in a while, just like the taste of it. Just once in a while, it change.
I wouldn't overdrink
I
pineapple.
never get sick of grape. Never get sick of it.
Yeah, pineapple doesn't make me feel great if I overdrink it.
The more simple we keep things, the easier the body works. The more you complicate it, the more that challenge is working. So the diet's the same, And everybody else is telling you need more of everything, and we're saying keep it simple. Animals in nature, they keep things very simple. Look at a buffalo eat grass his whole life, nothing else. Very simple. Look how big the animal is.
They're satisfying.
So what do we know? We know nothing. We know nothing. Elaine, on eating days, why is the juice not considered part of the eating window? It's considered part of the wet window.
What window?
I don't know.
So you have dry and you have
Yeah,
wet.
it's you know, you have the dry and the wet, so it's
Mhm.
part of your wet.
Hmm.
But like I said, it's if after you eat, if it's just fruit, you can have juice. But if you're eating other things, we recommend don't drink the juice. Don't mix the juice with other things. Wait till the next day. Keep the juice always best drinking on an empty stomach. That's the best way.
Before the food.
Yeah. You know, people having problems with their blood sugar and everything. They're mixing everything. They're chugging juice. Okay. This is gonna have problems. And then
Yeah,
they
it
blame the
It
sugar.
ferments. Yeah.
It's just you know, keep the sugar away. You're gonna be healthy. I haven't seen that. I've seen the opposite. You know,
Thank you. My eating routine is I usually just pack my juice for my day at work, and then I get home from work at 4 o'clock, and I just eat between 4 and 7, and that's it.
awesome.
Amazing.
You mentioned fruitarians put mango in their salad dressing. Yeah, they've used different fruits and stuff in their salad dressing. It's not the worst to use some fruit with green leaves. Your body can handle that to a certain degree, but it's always best if you don't mix them.
Yeah.
But if you do occasionally, no big deal. Like, you know, lemon goes with anything, right? You
Yeah,
can put
but lemon is not sweet.
Yeah,
And zucchini is not
apple,
sweet. You know?
apple's one that you can mix with some greens and stuff.
Like there's non-sweet fruits. Then
Yeah,
tomatoes,
you know,
cucumbers.
people do it because they feel like it's bored and they want to make some changes and more flavors and whatever, blah blah blah. You could do it, but it's always best to keep them separate. Eat the fruit first and eat the salads after. That's always the best way.
Elaine, what level are you doing right now? Are you doing?
So I'm doing level 2, but the way I did it last month is I did 9 days in a row.
Yeah.
So I did 9 days around the full moon dry, and I did 3 days dry. So that's my minimum requirement every month, is to do those 9 days. This month I'm also working on adding 2 days a week every week. So that's my plan.
9 days with the full moon every
Yeah.
week you want to do, and then 2 days a week.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Because I really struggled last year with doing the weekly plan. So I thought, okay, well, this year I'm going to commit to at least 9 days a month. And then if I can get in the weekly plan, that's a bonus. So every week I give it a go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. And when you're eating clean and within 3 hours.
Awesome.
Sometimes I go longer than 3 hours. That's the difficulty with leaving too many days between MFS to MFS, is I want to eat more and more as time goes on. So I'm working with that. I'm starting my 9-day on Monday again. So I'm really looking forward to that, because like today I went out and bought a split pea soup, and that's the heaviest I've eaten in 2020. And now I feel terrible. Yeah.
You know, a good focus is remember where you came from.
Yes. Yes. And I, yeah.
Back to being in bed, man.
Yeah, I keep reminding myself too, like I could barely walk, and now I'm walking. Yeah, like I've been on strike. And that's something I would not have been able to do in the past. I would have been in big trouble because I could not stand and be on strike. Like standing outside for 3 hours, there is no way. Yeah. And I was even worried on Friday that I wouldn't be able to do it. And no problem at all. Not one bit of soreness.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I brought a little stool with me just in case. No, I didn't need to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we purge, we get stronger and stronger and stronger. It's just the way it is, and we're going to have some challenging times, but it's okay because we come out stronger. And it's very basic, and with that understanding is just about purging all our caca in all levels. The more we purge, the better we feel. And
Yeah.
emotion is the key player, which very few have the understanding of how powerful and what emotions truly are. Intent and emotion is creation itself. And some of us will have more challenges in that area than others,
Go within.
depending on our
The only way.
ancestral lineage and so on and so forth. And it's okay. We continuously work on it, right? It's all
Yeah.
How do you work on it? I would say just calm yourself and observe. Fasting helps you observe yourself. And so when you observe, you can see, okay, I don't like this about myself, what I just did. I mean, I don't like my behavior. I just observed this and it's happening and it's being repeated. Pray, ask God to help you, get out of this, because we keep repeating our mistakes sometimes, and yeah, but just be humble and ask for help. You're observing something that you don't like and you're kind of stuck in it, you're addicted to it. You keep repeating the mistakes, and it's not, it can be food, right? But it can be also with our behavior, anything, the way we talk or something that is mean, or observe and say, okay, I don't like this about myself and I want to change that part. Or fear, fear, like you're afraid, you're always afraid of doing something because there's something that makes you scared, and pray for strength. And you're observing it, this is a challenge. Pray for strength, be humble, and don't ever give up. I would say it's not easy. I mean, we're all working on it.
Steve, pain is the touchstone of all spiritual growth, for sure. Like I love Wim Hof. He goes, "You're depressed? Go jump in a cold body of water and tell me if you're depressed." You ain't going to be thinking about being depressed. The only thing you're going to be thinking about is survival.
Exactly.
So jump in a cold body of water if you're having challenges, an ice bath or whatever.
We're too spoiled.
It's awesome.
I think we're too spoiled. We need some kick in the butt sometimes, I think. I think we need a little kick in the butt.
Yes.
Sacrifice again really is a big motivator. Just,
it's so much easier to, just give up and complain and do all the things to make you unhealthy. It's so much easier to go along with everybody else. Changing is going to be resistance and everything in our society. So that's why I keep saying you got to put that effort every single day for yourself. Spend that 1 to 2 hours. If you have more time to spend on yourself, even better. But spend 1 to 2 hours every day on yourself. Every day.
Yeah, it's like self-love and self-respect, by doing things slowly, step by step, and being patient with yourself and gentle and consistent, and loving yourself and respecting yourself and being nice to others as well. When you respect yourself, you respect other people as well.
We love all the whole breatharian movement and everything. It's all wonderful and beautiful. But there's misinformation in all the movements. There's misinformation in stuff that we don't have an understanding for. We don't say that we have all the answers either. But what what's been happening is, man, oh man, more and more answers are coming in from so many people doing this. You got thousands and thousands of people that have gone through the experiences, and guess what? They're very similar to everything I've experienced. So there's some truth to it. And the body starts, doing what it needs to do. So it's awesome. Elaine, it takes an hour every day to do Kalima breath. Arians talk about deep breathing too. I'm noticing. Yeah, we're talking about deep minimal breathing. There's people talking about deep breathing. We're talking about deep minimal breathing. There's it's a whole different level when you're doing minimal, right? We're getting into CO2, the carrier for energy transfer. Without CO2, there's no energy transfer. And that's how vitally important carbon is, and that's why the body produces it. It's not a waste product, as we've been taught. The body produces it because it needs it. Yeah, it's going to expel the excess because there's abundance. The body's continuously creating it because it needs it.
like a
So
baby.
we-
It's like breathing like a baby.
Yeah, we look at things always through the fields, not through matter, and we get a different understanding completely when we look at that. And like when I started doing the breath work, man, it's just that made massive changes in how the body worked. And you got to continuously, consciously focus on doing it every day. Because if you don't, you're gonna slip away to your habits. Because we haven't been taught that. If you teach a child that type of breath work and continuously work with them, they're doing it automatically as a baby. But if you continuously work with them and train them, then it becomes a habit instead of doing the opposite, stuffing them with all kinds of food and becoming a mouth breather. Can you imagine?
Stuffed nose, my goodness.
Yeah, can you imagine the difference the generations will produce? It's just going to be outstanding. So we're just scratching the surface on all these understandings. The less breathing you do, the longer you live. That's known. It's all written in the old Vedics for thousands of years.
It's like the less
You
you
look in
eat.
the animal kingdom, the longest living animals are the ones who breathe the least. The tortoise, I think, is one of the least. Lives, a few hundred years. So
Turtles?
tortoise, yeah, big turtle.
Nice.
I don't think it's like a breath every minute or something, or a couple of breaths. I don't know. It's very, very, very little breathing. And when we're starting off doing these breathing techniques, it doesn't feel comfortable. It feels completely off. It feels like you're suffocating, and that's how you know you're on the right track.
Yeah.
So take that to the bank and deposit it. Because everything else we've been told seems to withdraw from our banks, our bank account. Oh man. Yeah, we're going along and we're learning new things every day, but man, oh man, the profound changes we've seen is just awesomeness. And some of us are going to be a little more challenged. It's okay.
We support each other.
Keep that faith. Keep the faith, I look back at how I did it all by myself pretty much. And, today it's a whole different realm with this fast-paced society than it was 30 years ago. Way faster pace. And a whole different consciousness. What I see unfolding is, more and more people coming to the understanding that, energy doesn't come from food. That belief system, that consciousness will grow in humanity as a whole, and we'll come up with more fascinating and new things as we move along. It's just going to happen. As I've watched all the breakthroughs and what do you call that? What's the word I'm looking for? Paradigm shifts in the last 30 years. It's just been incredible how many different things I've seen unfold. From vegetarianism to veganism to raw foodism, fruitarianism, breatharianism. It's all one step at a time. It's been happening in these 30 plus years. And we want everything today. But it takes what it takes, because I call this the slow motion realm. And when you look at it, you can see that, yeah, it is a slow motion realm. Are things speeding up? Yeah, I've seen things speeding up, time and so on and so forth. But it is a slow motion realm compared to the limitless realms where you can travel millions of times the speed of light and going into any different dimension you want to go. So it's, a little bit different here. Going to your dream state, and you can be anywhere you want instantaneously. So that is a million times the speed of light, because you can be millions of years, light years away, instantaneous. So the speed of light is not the maximum speed to travel. That's thinking in material terms. So that is thrown out the window as well. That belief system, the speed of light. Actually, sound travels faster than the speed of light. especially when you're using the 432 as a carrier weight. It's travels many times speed of light, instantaneous. I've shared, we've accidentally found that out, and it was awesome. Accidentally, nothing's an accident. So, anybody else want
Steve,
to?
yeah, Steve, I'd like to hear from you. Your update.
Oh, everything's going well. You know, I backed down the amount of the plasma putting in it, and it helped with
Oh
with the gas. I don't know if that's been going on for a couple of weeks.
You backed off?
yeah.
Yeah. I was going 4 tablespoons,
Okay.
probably a little more. I backed down to 3, and it's kind of cleared out that gas problem.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a correlation, but that's what I found. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, as it's going through, it's, you got to remember, it's helping move things.
oh man, it was not fun. Whew.
Pulling in.
Nah, because it's not just the gas. I mean, I was almost diarrhea again, and not making it to the bathroom again. It's like, geez.
Still, wow. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Not a problem here at home, but that's what's happening at work. That was not fun at all.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't make it one day.
They're really in the purging state still.
What are
I
you
just
doing?
never, I don't think my body has come out of it at all.
What are you doing?
It's purging constantly, especially in the Kalimas when I think because I do a Kalima every day, and just the dry days I don't. If I'm eating or not, I don't care. I do it every day.
Awesome.
What are you doing these days? What are you doing these days? Are you doing a level?
Well, I'm trying to do 1 day a week, but that's been challenging. Well, I was trying to get to level 5, but the 2 days are just, I can't eat. I can't do it. I just cannot eat 2 days, period. And second day is horrible. So the last couple of weeks, I've been full MFS for 3 days, and then 1 day of eating, and then 3 days. But I don't clear out enough.
What are you living on? What are you living on?
Protocol. I like that answer. Somebody gave that answer today. It was perfect. Mitra, I think she gave that answer. The protocol. That's it.
What do you-
But I don't clean out enough. And by the time that 4th day comes, and I'm not eating a lot, but it's still I still feel, by the 3rd day, I feel empty. But then I start filling up on the 4th. So it's like, all right, it's not enough. So I'm going to push that out. 4 or 5 days. And then eat 1 day. I don't know what that's going to end up at. That'll be 6 probably. If I'm eating every 6th day, 5th day, 6th, I don't know what it is.
So you're doing it randomly. You're not doing a specific day of the week.
No, whatever day it falls on.
Okay. So every 5th day, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's working. So I mean, it's not working. It's not great, but it's better than eating the 2 days. Way better. So
Yeah.
I'm just still trying to find whatever that balance. But it's easy. It's easier.
Yeah.
It's definitely becoming those swings that Rox is talking about are so much lessened.
I would say once you have 3-4 weeks under your belt, I think you can do 2 days. But you don't have.
I don't want to do 2 days.
Yeah. I started last week. I ate 2 days. I think it was the first day I ate 2 days, and now it's like 37 days now. And it was okay. It was manageable because I got into the routine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not into the routine yet fully.
Yeah. Once
That's
you
for sure.
it's much easier. You say, no way, I'm going back to my routine, and incorporating the past 2 weeks, the green juice the day after eating. So Massive Fast liquid hybrid. So 1 liter.
Oh, I have a problem with the green juice. I don't like it.
Towards the end of the day.
I don't like it at all. When I was on the last full MFS. It took me right out of the fasting state, dropped me right out as soon as I started it. I won't touch a green juice again.
Mhm.
I don't like them.
Out.
I don't like the effects for me.
Oh, even me, the green juices, it's a lot of work for my body to process green juice.
I love them.
I mean, it felt almost immediate as soon as I started to drink the first one. It's just like, phew, done. The fast was over, and it was over.
Like you started eating after?
No, that's when I started pushing, trying to get back into the state, and I tried pushing it for 2 or 3 weeks, and I never got back into the fasting state.
Hmm.
I was pushing.
It's fasting.
That's when I broke the whole thing, and
Mm.
so I won't. That's just my experience with the green juices. I don't like them.
The body has to work more to process it. It's that simple. Even though it's a juice, the greens are
Yeah.
more work.
But yeah, but I
I'd
can't.
rather use a less. I'd rather use like a watermelon juice. That's easy. That was something like that.
Yeah.
Green, nah, I won't touch them again.
For me, yeah, sure, maybe it's more processing, but it gives me the because I put celery and lemon juice and cucumber
Steve
Yeah.
likes the sugar.
and
Oh, I
cayenne.
know. I made they were beautiful. The greens I used were fantastic. It was a good juice.
It
Just
feels like
it
a
just
salad.
it took my body straight out, and I don't want that to ever happen again.
Yeah. It helps with the craving. That's
When you're eating, are you sticking to mostly fruit?
Yeah, as best I can. Yeah. As long as I'm in the one day, no problem. Beyond that, that's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's once we start eating, man, that's where you get hungry, right?
Yeah, and that, even before I even started doing all this, I would, from a young age, from a kid, from childhood, I never ever was hungry until I started eating.
Exactly.
Ever. I never, and even today, I'm never hungry.
I remember.
Even as I'm eating, it's like I know I'm not hungry. What the hell am I doing?
I remember the same thing as a child.
Just never. So it's crazy. It's that programming.
I remember
Definitely that programming.
when I
breakthrough.
used to eat late at night. In the morning, I'd be more hungry. I go, how could that be possible? I'll eat again, right?
And lethargic, even on that eating day, the following day in the gym is like, even fruit, even staying just fruit and vegetables. It's
Yeah, you notice.
the energy is way down.
So, there's a
And
lot
I'm
of
in the gym every day. I do that. That's where my time is. I'm in the gym every single morning, hour and a half, and then I go back for another hour after work.
Wow. Good
lot,
for you.
lot of stuff is being.
I don't work out in a second time. I just go in a beautiful dry sauna there. I spend a half an hour in the sauna.
Wow. What do you
There-
do when you work out? What do you do?
Today was 45 minutes on the elliptical. Saturday's a little light. Then during the week I do, light weights and a lot of stretching. I don't know. I'm going to be 61 in a couple of days. I look pretty damn good for 61, I think.
I'm just a
That's-
few years behind you.
Yeah. I look at other guys. I look at other people that are my age. It's like, man, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They don't look good. They do
It's,
not look good.
As all of us are going through all these experiences, we're learning so much that what we've been told is so much crap,
Oh, it's everything.
It's so.
It's everything. It's all the science. It's everything.
What can we believe anymore? I don't know. Just go through the experience and find out.
That's it. You can only believe what you've gone through. It's crazy. I question everything now. I don't everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, just going along. Just
Yeah.
loving the fact that those swings are becoming less. The arc is slowing down.
Yeah. Give it 3 weeks.
That's that?
Give it 3 to 4 weeks. You'll feel much.
Oh yeah. It's been it might take a little longer. That's all right. I don't care. Take what it'll take.
I mean, just to build a habit, and then after that, a lifestyle. They say what, 90 days?
Mm,
6 months.
Well, I committed to this for 6 months, then I'll go for another long one.
I don't care.
I
what-
I love the long fast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they say out there. It takes what it takes. Some people are going to take years, and some people maybe do it in months. It doesn't matter. You
Just keep going.
just do it and just commit. Who
Well-
cares about all those numbers?
Mhm.
You know,
I've
always remember.
never felt physically this good. Again, everything that's cleared up is incredible,
Yeah, remember where you came
but
from.
I've never felt this good mentally either.
Yeah.
Spiritually, whole thing.
You released some stuff that you shared with me, some anger, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, so there is it's you know, it's happening at its pace. It's supposed to happen. No sooner, no later.
Nope.
It's all
We're
there.
all releasing. We're all releasing.
It's
all the stuff.
impossible not to release. It's just gonna take what it takes. For some people, a little different than others, and who cares? So you know, we're all learning. You know, we live it and we love it. That's why I'm still here.
And I don't even when I screw up, I don't beat myself up anymore. So that's good.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
It's just part of the journey, period.
Exactly.
That's
No big deal.
how I treat everything. It's just part of my journey, period. It's mine.
Brush off and move on.
That's it. And it's planting time. 3 weeks, they start pepper. So I'm getting,
Excited, huh?
yeah.
You said planting?
Mm,
Yes.
in 3 weeks.
I'm going to plant by the moon this year.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
I've got the schedule. I've got the schedules.
Yeah,
The new moon.
all the old Italian guys used to do it always by the moon.
Yeah. The Farmer's Almanac has it. They got a planting guide. They give you the select, they give you the moon dates. It's like, yeah, I'll do it this year.
It helps. Have you ever seeded stuff and didn't grow?
Mm.
Never?
Never?
Wow.
I always had things grow. I've got seed that I bought in 2009.
Wow.
Maybe lost 1% last year. If seed didn't last, we wouldn't be here.
You know, and sometimes when you plant at an off cycle, it just doesn't grow. I've had stuff I planted and then it came up the next year.
Yeah, it's true.
I never had that happen.
You know?
Some things haven't come up as well as they should have.
Yeah.
But that seed, that's life. That's all it wants to do is live.
Yeah. The conditions have to be right and it'll sprout. That's
Yeah.
it. You know, like after these forest fires, you see new growth. Where do these come from? Everything burnt to a crisp. Well, they're there. Re-energized from the carbon.
Just a purge.
Yep.
If it was natural, it would be just a purge. That probably was not all natural, but
No, not all of it, but who knows? Still, it's life will come back if we leave it alone.
look what happens after the volcanoes go off. Some of the
Oh.
most fertile soil you have.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. You see that somebody posted that dog in the Philippines that was buried for 15 days.
No, I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah, it was buried in the ashes. They were digging it out, and there was it looked like a pallet, and then they broke the pallet, and the dog's under there.
Really? Wow.
15 days.
They guess he fasted a little while, didn't he?
Oh. But yeah, so the volcanic ash is very rich, and everything's going to grow much better once that stuff gets spread all out. It always does. When the lava comes through, that's a different story because that's just rock. It just turns back to rock, and nothing grows on that. But the ashes, man, it's just full of minerals. Just like the tsunami happened in Indonesia. A year later, they had the best crops. You know, that killed everything right away. But after that, best crops. You know,
Mhm.
minerals from the ocean, seaweeds, and everything else.
The seaweeds are some of the best fertilizers.
Yeah. So many things we can use.
Yep.
If you're not eating any animal products, you can use your own waste for fertilizer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that one.
You're quite black.
I don't know. Yeah,
There was that.
I use cow manure. I don't know why I wouldn't use human. But
Not on the master fast.
I can't remember the guy's name who started using psyllium many years ago. And there was a story he mentioned about somebody he put on the program to clean out the bowels, and it was something about that he put it in the mail to mail it to him or something. I can't remember. And they stopped the mail because there was the dog sniffed out explosives.
no.
And anyway, they went to
That's
the guy's place because they thought he was mailing explosives. And it so happens that this guy worked with explosives many years prior.
Really?
The body was purging it out
Jeez,
in the mucoid plaque.
that's something.
So when people say that
beginning of Facebook,
don't
anyway.
understand the body holds on to things, it does hold on to things. It does, especially things that are synthetic. It's Diane posted about her sister,
Oh,
the two cats. Did you read it?
Yeah.
She never vaccinated them. So one day she decided that she was going to vaccinate when they were old. One of them died right away. They did an autopsy. The cat, the tumor encapsulated the vaccine ingredients in the body.
They found the vaccine ingredients in a tumor.
Good.
Amazing.
Like,
Kill it. Freaking vax.
so, it's so simple. Like, stick to the principles of nature and the universe. And the more we move away from it, the more we're going to have challenges. It's so simple that the answers are all around us. If we want to pay attention, they're there. Doesn't take any brilliant minds to see it. It's all in front of us. So let's work with these things and be the change that we want to see here, because we can't keep destroying this planet anymore.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Yeah, this is the year 2020. Clear vision.
Time to change.
We're seeing the clarity of so many things coming up more and more.
Time to change. Are we ready?
I don't think humanity is ready, but
Yeah, let's take it one at a time.
Lots of
One
people are
person at
waking
a
up.
time.
Lots.
they are. That's
More and more in especially the last 10 years.
yes.
With the internet.
Yeah, and now that they're trying to silence, all this stuff, but hey,
It's too late.
too late. The information's out there.
It's too late. They can't stop.
Well, then they send out the coronavirus.
Yeah, I just make the GANs, keep it at hand,
But
because these viruses,
They're produced in the lab.
yeah, no, I know, but don't underestimate what these things, they can take over a healthy person as well,
Oh yeah.
because the virus is a whole different ballgame. So it's always best to be prepared. I know even ozone will take care of it. Body bagging should be able to do it.
From what I understand, it's a simple virus. It's if you're sick, if your immune system is down, you're going to catch. So it hurts mainly older people and people who have high blood pressure and diabetics. So these are like really some of the sickest people in our society.
Always
Yeah.
good to be prepared.
Absolutely.
One of my clients actually,
Don't
For everything.
yeah, don't live in fear. Don't be in fear about it.
No
Just
way. It's not fair.
one of my clients a few days ago, she's like the average person eating. She doesn't care really, but she's interested. Like she loves washing her colon, and she releases very well. And she's like, oh yeah. So we started talking a little bit about coronavirus, and she said that she's scared. Okay, but she doesn't. She's just joking, but she's scared a little bit. I said, well, you shouldn't be scared. It's if you're backed up, you'll catch anything really. So keep it clean.
Yep.
Keep your bowels clean. Flush and eat clean and all that stuff. Watch what you're eating. Keep your immune system basically happy. Um, and she said, yeah, I'm gonna start. And I'm gonna be washing my hands, and I'm like, it's not about washing your hands, it's about washing your bowels, really. Forget about your hands. You can wash your hands all you want. If your GI tract is backed up, your immune system is down.
when was it?
You're gonna be exposed anyways, like
Yeah.
sure, some places more than other places, but we're always exposed to parasites.
In
Organs.
2013, I was just coming off the high fat, which almost killed me. We went to Marguerite Island for a couple months in the winter with my dad. A couple of my cousins, we all went down, and we all got dengue fever.
Mm.
I was down for 6 days, if I remember. I was wiped out. No eating, no drinking. Body didn't want anything. And I was up and around after the seventh day. My dad, we almost lost him because he had a heart condition. It was a few weeks. He pulled through. My cousin Mark, if you guys met, the autistic, he was down 3 weeks.
Wow.
Lost tons of weight. We thought one day he just collapsed right in front of me. I'm going, oh man, I thought we were going to lose him. And the other cousin got it, and he couldn't get rid of it. He left early because he was feeling so crap. He had it for the whole time. Almost we were there. But it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. But it just goes to show you, when you start taking care of yourself, your body and the resilience, will pull you through much better. So you got to work at, being healthy every day, like we said, and that's all you can do. But the dengue fever, I'm not sure exactly what it is. I haven't really looked it up, but I can't remember. If it's something like a malaria, if I believe, or something, I don't know.
In the water or something.
It's, yeah, but there's a lot of people getting sick that time. So these things will spread as long as the terrain will accept it. They're going to jump on board and give you a ride, right? So don't be naive. Be prepared. Don't be in fear. Have all the tools
Be
available.
prepared always.
Yeah, same
Always.
thing.
Not just now.
You got to get right away. You get fasting. If you're already fasting, even better. Do your dry fasting cycles and wash your colon. Same thing. And keep that GANS on hand. Really, just keep it at hand. It's so simple to make. So simple. Anybody could do it. Anybody. It's that simple.
The information is here. Yeah.
And it's so simple that people will criticize it because they don't understand it.
Too simple.
So we're working with fields. The same as MasterFast. And we're working with fields. We're not working with the material things of these things. And that's where the power comes through. It's not in the matter. And why doesn't everybody who's done juice fasts in the past, they come on MasterFast and they go, holy geez, what the hell is this stuff? Because we're not working with matter, we're working with fields. And you're at a whole different level. It's just, it's can't compare them. There's just Two different things. So
Susan, how are you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
hanging in.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. In fact, I've I've stepped it up quite a bit because I can't eat 2 days. Every other day is about all I can do.
Okay.
Uh,
How you feeling?
Better and better. I mean, I am washing that colon like you cannot believe.
Very good.
With
Yes.
enemas still?
Huh?
Still doing the enemas? Not Colima?
Not Colima yet, but Thursday, I got a plumber coming in. He's going to switch the toilet.
Ah,
Yep. And it's only going to cost me $200. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait. But like today, I'm having a hard time getting enough dry fasting in because I get up at 4:32 and I start my enema. And
it's a good number.
it is, isn't it? I love getting up at that time. Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, so I do the enema, which it does pretty good. I do pretty good. But what it does is it loosens stuff up. And then I started reintroducing the midday enema, which seems to flush out what I did in the morning because my colon holds onto the water and the juice. Oh, I love that juice in there. It's really breaking stuff up. It's great.
Oh yeah.
And then I try to not do one at night. Well, I think about it. I think, well, I got to start my dry fast, so I don't want to do it, in the evening too far.
What you can do is colon
Yeah.
feeding. What you're doing is colon feeding. So keep going with the dry because it's still going to be very intense. But
You
you're
mean
washing your colon.
you
So
mean don't do 3 sessions?
do them as you're doing them right now because they benefit you. And you're doing colon feeding dry, which is like it's a kind of dry, okay? Colon feeding. So you're washing your colon, but you're dry fasting from the top, but you're washing from the bottom. So that's actually very good for you, I would say, because
Okay.
because you don't want to push the dry, right?
No, I know I don't. Not yet.
Colon feeding
I
is
can't wait till I can do a little bit longer, but for now,
yeah. So do colon feeding instead of complete dry, because the colon feeding will help you
okay.
wash, and this will make the dry much easier.
Okay, because I was thinking about it and I thought, well, like some nights I'll think, okay, I'm not gonna do another enema at night because I want to start a dry fast. I want it to be, complete 12 hours,
No, it's totally
but
fine.
I can feel it. My head starts to swim with the toxins, and I know that feeling now, and so I just have to.
Mm.
And then black stuff comes out,
Yep.
and then oh my gosh, then I have a much more peaceful night.
Yeah, you look much better now than
I know, and I'm eating fewer days. I know. Yeah, that's what I was told. I was told at work, oh, you're looking so much better. But yeah, so okay, well then I'll just keep doing what I do. In fact, today I had a colonic,
nice.
and the same thing. I held that water in. I hardly released anything, even though I'd released quite a bit earlier. And I thought, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let my body do what it's doing. And then right before I came on here, I did another one, and sure enough, black stuff was coming out, and I feel so much better now. I mean, I'm just becoming such a believer in cleaning out that colon, and I'm just so excited to get my Klima board up. It's so funny. I think about it, and I just start smiling, and I'm just so excited.
Just think about how you're feeling before you do the Kalima, and you didn't do the Kalimas or the enemas.
Oh my gosh.
This is what a lot of people are doing out there.
Oh.
They're having to go through, and it ain't fun.
No. Well, I suspect that might have been what brought on my incident,
Yeah.
because I was off the quote unquote, I was off MFS, but I was having a hard time eating, and I was still doing the juice in the morning. And then I would try to eat in the afternoon, but sometimes I wouldn't. And my memory's still really foggy, but I have a feeling that might have been what, as I stopped kind of doing the enemas regularly.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I suspect that. I don't know that for sure.
You're not doing them regularly?
I think
I
that
think I might. I think because I was not doing MFS anymore, and so I just kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know. I I'm just guessing.
you got to understand, once we start purging, what starts happening is the fat in the body starts opening up and it starts releasing. And where is all the crap stored? In the fats of the body. And
Yeah.
therein lies the big challenges. That's why when people go on these high fat diets, they don't feel anything because it plugs everything up. You don't feel anything until the system ceases to function because the system's so plugged up. But the fasting starts releasing all this fat with all the toxins in it. We want it out of the body as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And once you've done a release, wow, you feel so much better. Why? Because you've released
Uh-huh.
these toxins with all the fat emulsion and everything, and helped it out with the enema and the colonics and whatever. It's so basic and common, and people still shun enemas and colonics. Okay, they just don't understand
Honestly,
the simplicity of it.
every day after my colonic, I just like automatically in my head, I repeat, I feel so good, or I love pooing, or thank God, I feel amazing, empty, like it's just
Yeah.
repeat in my head, like without even talking. Sometimes I say it to Gino, but my goodness, it feels so. Sometimes I say it to my clients if I do a colonic at work before they come.
Uh-huh.
I'm amazed by how I feel, and I'm doing it every single day. I'm still amazed by how I feel after, and I'm sure you guys too, right? So
Yeah.
you do them regularly?
Well, right now while I'm doing I only have enemas to do, um, and that's another thing I started recently, and it's expensive, but that's just what I got to do. Is I've been going to get a colonic every 5 days.
Okay.
Or every 4 days sometimes, because I can just feel that
Yeah.
Yeah.
just not.
Once you get your Kaleem up and running, maybe once a month,
Yeah.
if you like.
Yeah. So sometimes, sometimes you release with colonics and sometimes you don't. Like today you didn't, but
Yeah, it was weird.
sometimes you do.
Yeah. Sometimes I release a lot, but today I could tell. I could just tell, and some of it is the stress and anxiety. I can feel I'm just tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to do that Buteyko breathing the whole morning right before I go, just to get it to relax. Oh, it's very challenging to get that Buteyko perfected. It's taking time.
No rush.
So
But talk to your colon.
yeah, and I have been starting to do that a little bit more, and telling it how much I appreciate it, and telling it that it's doing a good job, and to talk to me and let me know things. And I sometimes when I've done an enema, again, I'm tight, and I can feel my body just clenched, like it doesn't want to release. And I talk to it, and I just say it takes as long on this toilet as it takes, and it's okay. It's okay. You're doing a good job. So that does help. Just to love every part of your body and appreciate it. I've been doing that a lot more too. I walk my dogs for at least about 5 miles a day, and I've been stopping every few, I don't know, whenever I feel like it, and I just turn to the sun or wherever the mountains, a tree, whatever. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, and it's just so, oh,
Mm.
even when I don't feel great, I don't physically, my head is swimming in fog. But boy, that helps so much.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It's a miracle. It's this whole MFS is just, it's a miracle.
Life is a miracle. Everything is a miracle.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's a nice roadmap for sure to go back to nature.
You don't think I'm pushing it too much because I mean, today was my second day of juice. Because I wanted my colon to be, because I was watching Gino's, not Zoom, what's it called? The live feed thing
Facebook.
about it's, if you are going to go have a colonic, it's good to just be on juice, and I hadn't really,
System.
yeah. And so I fasted day before, yesterday. Well, I not fast, but I was on liquids. I was on MFS, and then today I thought I'm not gonna eat today after my colonic. I just don't want to. So it ends up being 2 days. So I'm eating like I'm doing the juice for 2 days, and then I'll eat one day, and sometimes I'll eat one more day. But I've just found that's just depletes my body, and it overstimulates my nervous system. So I've been kind of cutting down on the eating. You don't think I'm pushing it too hard, huh?
You have to go on your trust of what's happening with yourself, and slowly allow yourself to expand. And if you feel
Okay.
that it's a bit too much, you back off a bit. But
Yeah.
slowly. There's no rush. You're gonna know when you're ready if you really pay attention.
Okay.
And you don't want to be going to the areas of pushing yourself, but just allow.
Yeah.
To open up. Like,
Yeah.
you went 2 days and see that went okay. Go for another week regularly, and then maybe the week or two after, try another 2 days, or maybe try 3 days, and it feels a bit too much, and you back off the week after to 2 days. And just go with it. It's
Yeah.
you're gonna have to find it within yourself on when to be able to expand a little more.
Okay. That's what I'm doing, and I just don't want. I
Don't
don't want to repeat what I did before.
push.
Yeah. I get so
It's
excited.
Yeah.
About getting stuff out that it's just like, ooh, I want to do another.
It's all going to come out. It's challenging times because of the history that you've had with this.
Right.
As the stuff starts coming out, that's where the challenge comes, and that's why we want to wash, because when that stuff starts going back into the circulation, it's not fun experience.
No. Oh my gosh, and it does. Even between the enemas, I can feel it. It'll go to my head, and I'm foggy again, and I'm weak again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get home and do another enema. That's when I feel good.
Yeah, it's really that simple. Arnold Ehret gave us the road work on that, on what's happening with the understanding of what's happening there, and it's once you experience it, you go, yep, because so many people have shared their experiences of tasting things they haven't eaten in 30, 40 years, or drugs they've taken, or whatever. Of course, it makes total sense. The body will store it into the fat. Just like the cat locked up that vaccine shot and built a tomb around it because the body was trying to protect itself, but it overcame and it died. It was too much for the cat. So, that's what happens with us as well. Autopsies don't show you all this stuff of how the person died, being self-intoxicated. Nope.
Hmm.
You're doing great. You know, just continue.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
Angelica, are you there? Hello.
I'm here. Hi, how are you?
How's it going?
I'm moving along. Still a little tired today. I've been cleaning for the last couple of days because we're having an event tomorrow at our house, and just kind of tired because I'm doing 2 days of dry fasting. So yesterday and today. So I'll be breaking my dry fast tomorrow morning, and still having my cravings. I I I started doing 3 kalimas a day for a couple days. Then I went to 4. Then I went to 5. So I did 5 on Wednesday and Thursday.
wow.
Still having my cravings, but now I'm starting to focus on the alternatives of eating. So growing up, hash brown and eggs were a staple and just delicious. So earlier today, I was thinking about them, and then I thought, okay, what's my alternative? I can do the sweet potatoes, and I can make scrambled eggs out of garbanzo flour. You know, so I'm gonna do that and as the alternative, and just continue to move forward and continue to do my kalimas. If it takes 5 kalimas, then so be it.
Were you fasting? When you were washing your colon the past days? Were you doing the master fast?
No, I was eating. I Yeah.
Why did you do so many while you were eating?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Why did you do so many while eating?
Because I'm not eating healthy. I'm eating stuff I shouldn't be eating.
Yeah.
Let me put my earplugs on. They seem to help better.
Yeah.
So can you hear me?
Yeah. Were you trying to?
Okay.
Were you trying to start like every day? Was that like the day one, and you were kind of falling off at the end?
No, I'm on level 6. And so I get cravings, and there's food that my husband eats, and so it's sitting there, and I end up wanting to eat it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So towards
And
the day you eat something.
I'm sorry.
So towards the end of the day you find yourself eating again, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I do. It's in the closer to the evening. And then on top of that, I cook for him, so I know what foods are in the refrigerator. So I really need to change something here where I'm not gonna cook for him anymore. He's gonna have to cook his own food. So yeah, things
Masterclass.
could change.
Maybe
I would love that. That would be awesome if we did both supported each other, but we're at opposite ends, complete opposites.
what you can do is you can meal prep for him once a week when you're eating. Cook for the whole week for him, like put it in containers in the freezer, whatever, and every day he takes out and he warms it up. So this way you're helping him, and you're cooking for yourself as well when you're cooking once a week or twice a week. However many days you want to eat per week, cook on that day, make it a cooking day and eat as well with him, but eat like a better food, you know. So cook some healthier food for
Better
him.
version.
Yeah, like if you want quinoa and a vegetable stew or whatever, you know, healthier pizza or whatever, health, you know, plasma pizza, something.
Right, right. Yes. Um,
It's
that's a really good idea.
a lot of work, but at least you don't have to worry
It
about
is.
the rest of the week.
It is. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I've been forcing myself to eat just fruit, and that's been extremely challenging. So I think this time I'm going to try to eat just healthier versions of food.
Well, you want to eat fruits always, especially when you break your daily fast. I would do one type of fruit and like mono fruit meal. I would do that. I would do that, right? To move your bowels. And then maybe an hour after, you can have your vegetable dish. But I wouldn't shock my body with vegetables.
Right. So I'll have my fruit first.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have my fruit first. Every day I have a fruit first. And then my mind is okay, I'm sticking to this. I'm drinking my grape juice, my grape lemon juice. And in the back of my mind, there's, the obstructive food just playing and teasing me, and I don't want to give in. And then all of a sudden I go into like this blank mode, almost like this robotic mode where I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna have it, and then I'll eat it, and then I'll go do a kalima.
Yeah. You know, it takes a while to feel comfortable on any level. I would say that I've done it. Trust me, it takes a while, like a few weeks of making mistakes before you say, okay, now we're gonna do it better. So you find the tricks and try to remove whatever is tempting you to eat. I think one trick is to just not go to the fridge and not cook for your husband all week long. Cook for him, yes, with love, but not all week long. Tell him it's gonna be frozen from now on, or it's gonna be in the fridge if it lasts for a whole week. You know,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
container of quinoa. I don't know, like you can. There's always something you will find out. I mean, you'll have to be a little bit creative. I mean, food is fun. Cooking is fun. I'm sure you like it. So.
Right. I do. I'm actually enjoying. You know what? There's a couple of things I wanted to say. I am cooking for him and freezing food at the same time because it's just for him and I can't make single servings. So there is frozen food. It's just putting it in the refrigerator and letting it sit there that gets a little challenging. But I'll figure it out. I know I'm gonna figure it out because this week, as a matter of fact, I did come to that point. I did say, you know what, enough is enough, and I was able to handle that for a couple of days, and then I fell again. So I know I pick myself up and I keep moving. So I'm gonna figure it out. It seems like this week I got creative and I did make some changes, and I'm just gonna be working on that for hopefully for not too long.
Yeah, you're doing amazing.
Um,
Are you thinking,
one, huh?
sorry, are you thinking level 6 eventually?
Yes. I don't want to. Nothing else looks appealing to me. Level 7, I would prefer, but this is.
Too much.
I'm. If yeah, I'm gonna stick to level 6 for now. One thing I have noticed. Do you remember me doing full MFS for like, I think I did, I want to say conservatively 15 days, and then I broke it for a few days, and then I went back for another 15, 20 days, something like that. Well, it really, really, really helped me. It, you know, I released so many toxins, so much crap, so much stuff. That now, and so prior to that, I would eat right, you know, the SAD diet, standard American diet, and I always felt sick after. And I hate it. I did not like eating because it didn't help. It didn't make me feel any better. I didn't get the energy that other people say they get or whatever. I just, I didn't find pleasure out of eating. Well, now that I'm did MFS, I don't like when I eat food I shouldn't be eating. I don't have that sick feeling I used to have anymore. So there's no, like, I don't feel the penalty, if you will, of eating obstructive food. I feel it when I'm doing my kalimas.
We'll catch up to you eventually.
So you do feel it.
You release some.
When I'm when I'm doing the kalimas, I notice the difference. It's when I'm done eating. It's when I'm eating, I'm enjoying it, and then I don't get the side effects immediately after. And so I noticed that. I'm like, oh, okay, no wonder I'm still feeling motivated to eating these things, is because
Yeah, I hear you. Let me tell you, from my experience, I think if you eat one meal that's obstructive after a fast, you can get by. Okay, you wash it the next day. Okay, one day is enough. But if you do that 2 days in a row, eating obstructive foods, have you done that?
yes, I have.
It's not. Then I feel like, okay, now I feel trapped. I feel addicted, and I feel the gas and whatever more obstructed than usual. Do you feel that too?
Yes, I do.
So
I do.
you are obstructed, and you do feel more tired than you.
But immediately after eating, no, I don't feel obstructive.
Yeah, not immediately. If it's
Where before I did the full MFS, I felt sick all the time, and even worse right after eating, where now I don't.
you're more sensitive after a long master fast, right? After your very long one.
After it was like maybe 38 days of
You were more
MFS.
sensitive. Of course, you were more sensitive before. Now you've done like shorter master fast. Your body,
Yeah.
yeah, and your body got used to a little bit of the first one, so it kind of knows, you know, because you broke it. I mean, you ate some obstructive foods in the past after a long one, so it kind of. I totally hear you. I have done this as well. I have done this, and I didn't feel super sick, but I felt sick, but not super sick. Like after a very long fast and break correctly. Yeah, the first time is hard. Yeah, the harder, I would say. The first master fast.
Yeah. And I don't, this is not what I want. I just, it's, the cravings are just so strong. And I visualize the taste, and, you know, I remember, and I don't know, it just seems like I enjoy it so much more now than I did before. But that's not what I want. That's not what I want.
Maybe Steve can help you. No, I mean, not help you, but I mean, like, we're all here to share. But I'm sure, Steve, you've been through this also many times.
Please share, Steve. Give me some wisdom here.
Oh, man. That's all the head. It's all in the head. That's what it all stems from. It's That's where it all comes from. The body doesn't need anything.
And you know what? There were a few days last week or maybe the week before where I'm like, okay, I'm having the cravings, but then I'm like, nope, they're all mental. It's mental. It's mental. It's mental. So for a couple of days, I kept, I kept my focus. And then now that you brought it up, I realized that it only lasted those 2 days, and then I forgot about my strategy.
I think it goes a little deeper than just being in the head, because for me, what I believe is the closer I become to being clean, the harder that the lower fields are going to fight back. That's all it is. We're making progress, and the lower fields don't want us to make progress.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the closer we become, the pushback is harder. It's the same. Any addiction, same thing. The closer you come to breaking the addiction, the harder it pushes back. Always, always. It always pushes back the hardest right before you break it. Always. It doesn't want to give the power up.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing I thought about doing too was, why don't I just chew the food, because the flavor is all in the mouth. Chew the food and then spit it out.
That's tricky.
So
Yeah, are you
I
alone
did
there in the
that.
house too? Are you alone in the house most of the time?
Yeah, sort of. My husband works from home, but he's always in a room where he's made an office, and I spend the rest of the house.
Well,
The rest of the house is all for me.
all addiction wants is us isolated. All addiction. I don't care what it is, what you're addicted to. It wants you isolated. That's where its power lies. In the isolation.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think if I really am alone all day. Yeah.
Go out.
And so what I was sharing with the spitting out of the food, I took a couple of spoonfuls of the food and I spit it out, and I'm like, why can't I just go ahead and do this? I think next time I fall into my cravings, I'm just gonna chew it and spit it out. Well, then the next time I fell into it, I ended up swallowing it, because there's some sort of pleasure in keeping it in. And then I thought, it's the parasites who want this food. That's why I'm swallowing it. They're the ones, what's the use of putting it in my mouth and spitting it? They want it. They want to eat this.
It's addictive.
I've done that.
Yeah.
In the past.
Me too. I was trying food one day and I
That's
swallowed it.
you're gonna swallow it. I don't care, because I've done it too.
There's
You can do it for
comfort
a
in
few
it.
times, but that's it. You're gonna swallow it. Period.
Swallow something, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
There's one guy.
Besides, as soon as it hits the mouth, the digestion process starts. So
He claimed he did 108 days full MFS, and then I seen him on another video, I don't know, about a year later, talking about his experience that he was chewing nuts every day and spitting them out. I go, that ain't master fasting.
no.
And he was the only one that said he couldn't get rid of any plaque. He was clean. Okay, sure. No kidding. Your system.
Never got into it. The body never entered.
This is the belief system of people. So, but when you do a purge for a few weeks, a master fast, you're going to be purging a lot of stuff from years, and you remove a lot of obstructions that were causing challenges. So when you go back to eating, okay, you get the cravings and you start eating all those obstructive foods. You don't feel like they used to feel before. But what's going to happen, you're just going down that same path, and you're going to end up where? Exactly where you were, if not worse. It's just going to take some time, because to purge, purging takes, the purging levels, from what I find, it happens a little quicker than actually building up the obstructions, which is, cheap insurance, cheap payback for us when we want to clean ourselves. But the body has memory, and it will build up again, and you will go through the same symptoms and so on and so forth to where you were if you keep going down that path. No matter how much you wash your colon, if you stop fasting, you continue eating those foods, you're going to go down the same path. It's going to take maybe a little longer to wash your colon, but it's going to happen because as you're putting the food through you, your body's interacting with those fields. So the body's being built on that stuff. Doesn't matter how fast you purge it out of the body's going to, be built on that stuff. So you're going to,
it's going to go to your body.
It builds your whole being, the cravings and everything more and more and more and more. So we have to come to the realization, where we came from, do we want to go back to that? And what are we going to do to avoid that if we don't want to go back to that? And only you can make those decisions. So it's difficult for some people because you fall in the trap of the addictions and so on and so forth, and your environments and people around you and so on and so forth. But we have to come to the realization that, if we go down that same path, what's going to happen? And more than likely, 99.9, you end up the same way you were, if not worse.
Mhm.
And some people are not around anymore because they couldn't stop themselves.
And they're
This
already
is the
sick.
realization. It's not to put
Especially
fear or
when
anything.
you're
You
already,
if that's the choice and you're happy with that choice, that's wonderful. If you don't want to go down those roads, you have to make that choice.
we are blessed because we are not very sick. Some people are very sick and they find the master fast. They can't do what we do, the mistakes that we do. They have no room for mistakes. It's a
They won't be
lifestyle
around.
change. That's the hardest thing a human being can do: change their lifestyle or change their
You
habits.
have to change the whole thinking, everything, and it all starts and ends right up here.
Our reactions, the way we react, not so emotional as well, and physical and
Everything.
Yeah, MFS doesn't work. Yeah, of course it doesn't work. If you don't live it and love it, it ain't gonna work. If you don't come to that understanding, it ain't gonna work. It's a whole lifestyle journey commitment that we have to work on every single day. Are we gonna fall off? Of course we're gonna fall off here and there, but we have to come under a certain control and have that strong desire to be much more than where we came from, because we don't want to go back there. I didn't like being in bed for 2 years. It wasn't pleasant. It was a wonderful learning experience, but it was not pleasant. None of those days were pleasant, in being in misery, pain, and suffering. It wasn't pleasant. So I had to come to the realization that I don't want to go back there, so I have to do something that is not going to make me go back there. And I'm not going to listen to everybody else, because that's what everybody else is doing, is what I used to do, and that's how I got there. So I got to do something completely opposite of everybody else, and I'm going to be a cuckoo. I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to be extremist, and that's what I did for 30 years, and I'm still here. So
When I stopped drinking,
oh boy,
it took about 4 years before I was able to not think about drinking.
wow, 4 years. Food is at a whole different level, right?
So it takes time. I mean, it takes time
wow.
to change those patterns. It's no way,
But once it was out,
You walk into the woods for 20 miles. It's going to take you 20 miles to get out. It's the same analogy. We've been living this way for however old you are. It's going to take that long to balance the scales, right?
but it becomes easier, doesn't it? When you remove it, in a way, it becomes easier, the addiction, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're not going to, you'd never last. You can't be under assault.
I always, like to see, just remember where you came from, and if it's not where you want to go, make some changes and commit to them. Don't worry about falling off.
No. But see, then at about 10 years of sobriety, that's when I realized that I wasn't the same man that I was 10 years prior.
Can't be.
Because it took 10 years to change.
Everything changed. Your whole
And
personality.
just for me to be able to recognize the change. took the 10 years. I mean, obviously the change was going from day one, but to be able to sit and recognize it. So I'm coming up on 24 years.
I can assure your personality is not the same.
No, and it changes. And it's almost, you say 9-year cycle. With the alcohol, it's not like a 5-year cycle. Every 5 years, there's a whole nother just massive change in the, and
We get massive changes.
so it's every 5 years with the alcohol.
But yeah,
But it's still there.
you're
It's still there.
Angelica, you can do it. You can do it. It's going to take a little more conscious effort every day, and believe in yourself. Don't condemn yourself for falling off or anything. We've all fallen off many times.
Yeah, my last one was in December.
So just
Not too long.
be prudent and understand what you're doing. Be prudent.
Yeah, yeah.
Thing is, these what we call cheat meals or whatever, the more we go there, the more we're gonna want them. It's very addictive, very addictive. Food is way more addictive than any drug.
Yeah, stop
Yeah.
addiction.
See, I'm fasting. I'm dry fasting today, and I was, like I said, I was thinking about my childhood staple. But for some reason, I'm not running to the refrigerator for it. It's because I'm dry fasting. For one, it seems like everything's shut down. Everything's dormant right now. So
Here with us.
even if I'm thinking, well, even before that, I was thinking about it. It's like, it's in my head, but my body's not responding to it. And the other reason why I thought about it too is because I know I'm dry fasting, and going to eat that would be an extreme opposite. And that's very, I don't know, that's very disrespectful to what I'm doing. More so than
Dry fasting.
when I'm not dry fasting.
When you dry fast, if you put something heavy, you're gonna really shock. I mean, we are very careful, right, how we break the dry. Even on the liquid, we do massive fast bubbling. So it's very, very intense. If you put something heavy, your body will scream, and you can't make big mistakes. But
Right.
dry, you're thirsty a little bit, so you're looking forward to drink, or you're looking forward, if you want to eat, it's going to be a juicy food. So you're not going to think of like heavy whatever hash browns or something like that, that's not appealing at all. But we used to say,
Right.
if you want to know what food is best for you, dry fast and you will know which food is best for you. And it's usually fruits, juicy fruits. If you really want to know what your body wants to eat,
Yeah.
really your body wants to eat, dry fast.
Right.
So the food that you crave when you're dry fasting, that's the food that is best for your body.
Right. And because right now that I think about breaking the dry fast with the grape lemon juice, oh man, my mouth is salivating.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I get that. I that is what my body wants.
So that's why it's a reset for the cravings.
Yeah, and that's why I'm doing the 2-day. One of the reasons why I'm doing the 2-day dry is because I want to reset my body. There's days I notice that I'm not releasing toxins. I'm definitely releasing toxins right now.
You're always releasing on the master fast, even if you don't feel it.
On people who eat whatever diet, not clean diets, and fat and dry fast, there's not much benefit happening. It's a lot of stress to the body, as what I found and what I've seen. The dry fasting shines with a clean GI tract. few people understand that, but you see
And it's
claims
much
out there.
easier as well.
3-day dry fast, you're gonna cure this, that, and the other thing. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, this full moon, normally every full moon I do 3 days. It's a breeze. It's a breeze. I love it. Well, this last full moon, I after the second day, I'm like, okay, my heart was beating a little too fast, and I couldn't get out of bed. I'm like, nope, I'm breaking it. And I know why. I know why. And so that's the reason why I didn't do a 1-day dry fast for this moon. I did 2, is, to kind of make up for it.
Yeah, it's next week, isn't it? The full moon?
Next week is the full moon.
Yeah, when is the next
I think it's the 9th.
yeah, the 9th, sorry.
Yeah, 9th.
So in a week. Or
In a week.
Hmm.
So I'll do my best. I'll aim for the 3 days. See what happens.
Yeah, you're doing amazing, and it's the beginning is always hard. I mean, if you like, I would say exactly the same thing back in December when I was eating every day. I would say exactly what you just said, and I would wash my colon normally when I'm eating every day.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do too many because I know I'm not gonna get rid of all the food. If I'm in an eating mode, I'll have to get into a fasting mode if I really want to clean up. So I wouldn't waste my time doing so many kulimas. I would do many kulimas the first day, the second day of the master fast, just to flush as much food as possible to make the whole thing much easier, to make the cravings much less. But if I'm eating every day, I would just wash so I can survive. I wouldn't wash to just to get by, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
I would feel inflamed even with washing. I would feel inflamed and obstructed and gassy even with washing. Colonics doesn't really
Yeah.
do much, or colima or enemas. If you're eating heavy food, it's just you're gonna feel it. Yes, okay, it's less obstructions, but you're still obstructed.
Yeah. Well, I was with the amount of kalimas I was doing, I actually felt really good, lots of energy. I slept only a couple of hours the other day, and not because my body woke up, because I needed to wake up and get things done. And I forgot I only had 2 hours of sleep. I felt so good. My husband's like, I can't believe you're still going. And I'm like, why? He's like, you only had 2 hours of sleep. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I did have 2 hours, but as long as I was moving, I was doing good. But the minute I sat down to rest, like not really rest, but I was done moving, I sat down and I started feeling like the need to go to sleep. It was catching up to me. So, but it.
Are you eating 1 meal a day only when you're eating?
When I'm doing the MFS, yes.
No, I
when I'm doing the cravings, yes, it's one long meal. It's like I start with one dish and I'm like, you know what? I've already started. I feel like I'll make something else that I've been craving. Just, yeah.
Snowball.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one going, who has gone through this, but it still isn't, it's not what I want to be doing. I want to do this properly and correctly and
Right.
stay on MFS.
You are.
You are.
You are.
Exactly. That's exactly what it takes. What you're going through right now.
Yeah. There's a part of me that knows that, that this is a one of those layers I peeled from the onion, and it's exposed. And
Emotions.
We all have
what's that?
Emotions, right? It's all
Uh, yeah, yeah.
we all have
And it's definitely, emotions have always been, I mean, maybe I don't know if everybody resonates, but I run by emotions. My life has always been run by my emotions. I'm an extrovert, so introverts tend to be more realistic and intellectual, so they stick more with facts than with emotions. And so I'm the opposite. I've always stuck to the emotions before considering the facts. And so whatever I feel is what I go with. And so, yeah, right now my emotions come up and I run that program. And I do what I can to break it. Like, you know, I've thought, okay, it's all mental. And so I'm not going to fall into these cravings. And I stick to my guns for a couple of days, and then before you know it, that strategy is out the window, and I've completely forgot about it until you brought it up right now, Steve. I realized, oh my God, wait, I was using that strategy.
Yeah.
And
Uninstall.
then I'll
Delete, 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 delete.
yeah, I'm gonna come up with another one until, you know, this passes and it stays, and it just stays behind me.
yeah, it's a little bit crazy when we're eating every day. It's honestly, like,
Yeah.
if you talk to me when I'm eating every day, I would be completely different person. The emotions are much crazier when we're eating every day. And I mean, you're doing amazing. You really are doing amazing. This is totally,
Yeah.
it's absolutely normal.
And it's not my intention to eat every day. I wake up and it's like, this is, you know, I'm doing MFS. That's it. And then
The program.
I become another person.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
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 We've all been.
And honestly, I think that Mr. Hyde does come out, but I do everything I can to look as normal as possible. And inside, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for this food to be warmed up so I can sit down and eat it. But outside, I'm like, no, I'm gonna control myself, because if my husband sees this monster looking behavior, he's really going to think I'm crazy. So I can't let him see that. So I do everything to keep my composure. And I'm like waiting for that food to warm up so I can eat it ASAP. It's
I've done this.
yeah. That's my confession for the day.
There's nothing strange. It's everybody goes through these things. We're all human. We've all been programmed to eat, and it's not something that's gonna change overnight.
Mm,
So
It's totally
we're gonna go
normal.
through.
yeah.
Go through various challenges like this. Some more than,
Well,
but you need to consciously take some control, because we can get into trouble if we don't get a little bit of control. Yeah, we're gonna fall off here and there, but you know,
yeah, I agree.
you gotta put a stop.
I absolutely agree. I do have to tell you, since I am already sharing, one deeper level of this is that when I'm eating the food and then I'm done eating it, I do think, well, you know, if something absolutely terrible happens to me, I'm oh well. I'm happy that I ate this.
I'm happy that
Yeah, you enjoyed it. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And if the consequence comes, then it comes.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what we have to come to the
I made this choice. I take it. Now, with that being said, I want to clean the slate. You know, wipe the slate clean and start on the right foot, especially with my 2-day dry fast.
Watch this video in a few months. All is well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Be focused.
Yeah, and
Very focused.
okay. I so appreciate you reminding me, you know, of what could happen and what you know, what direction I should be moving to. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
It's not to put fear in anybody, because we all make choices. And like I said, in the last 30 years, I've seen so many people pass away. They just didn't want to make any changes.
Or
And
they make changes, but it's not enough to help them.
You have to make, it has to be a journey. They just didn't want this.
Mm.
They couldn't stop eating, changing their diet, whatever. Gone. They just couldn't do it. And then there's a few who said, I'm going to do this.
Mm.
They're thriving.
Mm.
So it's a choice, and we can make those choices of what we want to do. And it's, you know, we're responsible. Whatever the choice we make, we're responsible. It doesn't matter. We can't blame anybody else. We want to go see a doctor and go through their recommendations. That's our responsibility. You can't blame the doctor.
It's true.
Right.
Can't blame the doctor.
No,
So,
they're doing their job.
you know, take responsibility.
Right.
You know, I think we should do a breatharian challenge. We'll all go to Antarctica for 1 year. And let's see how breatharianism, how powerful it is to melt all the ice. With our intent and emotion, and we'll bring a tropical island out of that place.
We're doing a pretty good job of that right now.
But I'll get this straightened out.
Oh yeah, of course. You have done it before many times. You can do it. We all have been up and down as well.
Oh yeah.
It's, you know, just sharing. It's part of releasing emotions as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think
We're as
I'm
sick as our
grateful for that.
secrets. We're as sick as our secrets.
Yeah. And that's why that's why I wanted to share with you the top one about taking responsibility if something happens, because to me that feels like a really deep-seated one. Like I wouldn't dare share that with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I shared it with you all.
Yeah, this is, you know what we keep saying, join us on Zoom, share your story on the page. If you don't let it out, how are you going to release these things? We've all been holding on to so much caca. It's,
You know, yeah.
it's all emotional.
I feel, you know, many of us, honestly, I feel we lack a little bit of discipline these days. Most of us, most people, you know.
Definitely.
We're too spoiled, you know. We have so many options, and we can't focus. Yeah, it's been a little bit. Yeah, I think some sacrifice would be good. I think a little bit of discipline, managing our lives better, you know, because I feel like everybody's this is stressing me, or this is stressing me, or things that shouldn't be stressing us, you know.
Yeah.
We're not prioritizing things well, you know, and we're not observing where the stress is. Sometimes we're just stressed. We don't know why we're stressed, you know. We're not even calm enough to see where the stress is.
Environment
to
dictates
change it.
outcome. If you don't feel strength's not up, it's going to consume you and make you a part of it. Peer pressure. If you don't raise your field strength's not strong, draws you in. It's no
You know,
difference.
yeah, like we keep blaming it on our life and our anything misery and you know, not feeling good on different things. We can blame it on parasites too, right? Poor parasites, the poor parasites, they have nothing to do with it. It's us, we choose the obstructions to feed them.
That's why I don't like talking about parasites. It has
But
nothing to do with it. It's
but
part
like,
of creation.
or we blame it on our work or our boss or someone we're working with or my partner or my whatever, somebody else, you know, my friend. We blame not feeling good on other people or the government or anybody, instead of taking full responsibility for our happiness. Honestly, we can be happy in jail if we want. We can, but we're too spoiled. We won't. You know, I believe, I don't know. It's deep. It's really deep, you know, and nobody can stop you from being happy. Nobody can stop us from being happy and doing what we want. Really, like let's ask ourselves, who can stop you from being happy? Nobody. Even if you kick them out of your life, these people who are making you unhappy, you're still going to be unhappy because they're not the problem. We are the
Got that right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Another layer's peeled. And it's awesome.
You know, I can't help but think how much I resonate with the movie The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch it again.
Yeah. It's did the writers do MFS?
Yeah, there's a lot of truth that comes out through the movies theaters. If you
Well, they call it programming.
yeah. So man, we're over 3 hours.
Good time.
Wow. Well, thank you for letting me share. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being with us. You're helping so many people. You're helping us too. Thank you.
We got to decide once there's, for me, like when you're making a decision and it's really comes from the heart, nothing is going to move you. When you just, yeah, okay, I'm going to do it, and it's not from the heart, you'll know when you make a decision, man, it's just nothing's going to move you. Yeah, you're going to fall off again, but you're always going to have that focus because there's going to be challenges everywhere, no matter what we do in this life. There's always challenges. You know, I look at how drugs destroy a lot of people. I'm not talking about street drugs. I'm talking about pharmaceutical drugs, like they did to my mother, and the stuff I have to go through with that and everything else. It's not easy. You know, she's not going to fast, so there's no going down that road to help correct those damages. But you know, I know fasting can clean it all up, and the body can restore itself through the soul. But you have to get into these states, clean up that GI tract, and magic unfolds. But how many people are going to do that? You know,
everyone has a choice.
Yeah, it's to change your whole way of thinking, your belief system, your way of life, your personality. It's asking a lot of yourself, right? It's asking a lot.
Threatening the ego.
Yeah, it's wiping out everything you've known.
Mm.
Just that's why people emotionally they can't handle it. It's completely wiping out everything you've known and you've lived. And most
Despite-
people would rather die. Honestly,
Yeah,
they'd rather
it's
they'd rather
true.
die.
Despite how amazing you felt fasting, yeah, most people would. It's a big change.
How many stories of people they
They're
felt
not ready.
freaking amazing, but emotion is seed. And we'll leave it at that. Till next time, folks.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much. You know, this is awesome.
Thank you. Mwah. Love you both.
Where can we talk about this stuff? You know, this is amazing. This is awesome. This is how we all can grow and support each other, inspire each other. This is what it's about. You know, it's awesome. So let's keep that plasma love always flowing. We'll see you back on the
Love
page.
you guys.
And watch out.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Have a great week.
You too. Bye.